dirt on the Oriole pitchers. 9 runs on 11 hits and a 9-0 shutout win against the O's. But today, Miguel Gonzalez has a job in front of him. That job is to shut down that offense and get the team a split in this 4-game set. Coming up, this Memorial Day Sunday baseball game, Orioles, Cleveland.
And for the O's, they need a victory today in order to even up this series. It is 2-1 Cleveland with the advantage on this Sunday afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne along with Jim Palmer, and we are out in the picnic area outside of the bullpens here in center field. Today, on behalf of the USO and for all of the troops who have served this country, Elizabeth and Darren O'Day sponsoring a barbecue for the troops, Jim, to raise money for the USO. It's a great cause.
But yeah, it really is, and it's part of the Oriole Reach. I asked Darren, I said, how did you get involved? He said, well, grew up in Jacksonville, so I hung around growing up with a lot of people that were in the Navy. And then he said, but you really got to blame my wife, or you actually have to give her all the credit. Not blame her. But anyway, so, obviously he said, and this kind of sums it up in my mind, he said, listen, we get too much credit, they don't get enough. And, today we honor the people that have passed away, women and men, through all the way back, to the Civil War. And I think it's just a moment where we take time out. Yeah, the Orioles need a win, but just take a moment, because baseball players, you're always playing on holidays. Just take a moment and say, hey, let's reflect on that, and then go out and play, and maybe the Orioles will win today.
And Jim, I credit the current Orioles. A number of them are coming out to join Elizabeth and Darren for this. There'll be 235 who will be here, members of the public. The veterans will be here to meet with them. It's an emotional moment, you could tell, for both of them. They have great passion for this cause.
Well, they really do, and I guess it's the fact that you want to make a difference in people's lives. You put on a baseball uniform, people put you up on that platform, and it's a great forum. I mean, it's a great way to actually enhance people, the quality of their life, and recognize people for obviously supporting this country. So I had a lot of my former teammates do it, and it's just great that they're continuing that trend.
So part of the Memorial Day weekend here, as Darren and Elizabeth O'Day have a barbecue for the troops. They're on hand, so are we, for the ball game when we come back. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Coons, when you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Well, otherwise, it just doesn't get much better than this holiday weekend is turning out to be. Our train game time temperature 79 degrees, a few high clouds, just a gorgeous day. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. 42 lineups and 51 games for the Cleveland Indians. For today, it'll be Bourne, Santana, and Brantley, Chisenhall, Swisher, and Giambi, Aviles, Murphy, and Sellers. Lonnie Chisenhall continues to put up big numbers against the Orioles.
And take a look at Miguel Gonzalez. You can see the pitch mix. Fastballs maybe not as high as some of the other Orioles starters, but he's got a really good curveball, slider. Changeup is the splitter. And trying to get back in a groove. He's pitched pretty well after struggling. Gave up 10 runs in his first 2 starts. Since then, never more than 4. They need to sync it up like they did in Pittsburgh the other night, where he pitched well. They got him 7 runs. You can see and this is what he's been working on, Gary. Right-handed batters hitting .333. They've hit the most home runs, so working on that side of the plate to maybe be able to get in on their hands.
He has pitched against this Cleveland team before and owns a 2-0 record against them. This is his 3rd start, 4th appearance against the Indians. 2-0 with a 3.38 ERA. Here at home, he's 1-1 this year, but a very fine 2.70 ERA here at Camden Yards. He's got an 11-5 career record here at Oriole Park with a .360 earned run average. So he's been really good at home.
And that's an amazing number because he's a fly ball pitcher almost every year. In fact, this will be his 3rd year. Came up in the middle part of 2012, and he throws more fly balls than ground balls, and it usually doesn't play very well here. Wind looks like it's blowing out today, but the quality, I guess, of the fact that he can pitch to both sides of the plate when he's pitching well, and then the one pitch that he really has to have going, especially against this team, the Indians, is that split-fingered fastball, ground ball strikeout pitch for him.
So the Orioles need a victory today in order to even this series at 2-2 in this short 4-game homestand. Bourne is in, and we are underway. Strike taken on the outside corner to Michael Bourne. He's at .288 on the year. He's got an 8-game hit streak coming into the ball game. He is 2 for 4 lifetime off Gonzalez. And Bourne will chop that one foul outside of first. And that 90-mile-an-hour fastball will make it an 0-2 count.
Well, if you're Miguel Gonzalez and you watch the 2 starters yesterday, Corey Kluber for Cleveland and Ubaldo Jimenez for the Orioles, you want to copy Kluber. He was ahead of everybody, used both sides of the plate, used all his pitches. It was like a surgeon out there with a scalpel.
And a swing and a foul ball. That'll go off Joseph. So the Orioles' new acquisition, catcher, is here and ready to play today. But Buck Showalter didn't want to throw him into a ball game after he traveled all the way from the West Coast. So Nick Hundley will be on the bench and available. And the Orioles have 3 catchers. There he is on the left. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that'll go towards the split, and it's in there. Even though the Orioles had moved over and were playing him to pull it that way, it's a base hit.
Take a look at the Oriole defense, brought to you by Chevrolet. And David Lowe, great catch earlier in this series, robbing a 3-run home run. Jones and Markakis, Gold Glovers. Machado, the Platinum Glove winner last year, the best of all the Gold Glovers. JJ, Gold Glover. Scope, Pierce, with Chris Davis on the paternity leave, and then Caleb Joseph doing the catching.
So a leadoff single and a runner over there at first base. Pierce will hold the bag. Manny Machado back in the lineup at third. That decision made late after batting practice. Buck Showalter wanted to make sure he was ready to go, so he took some ground balls, some BP, said I'm ready, and so he's in. And there's Manny after missing 2 with that right groin problem. At the plate, Santana, 3-game hit streak for him. Good series with the 4 for 11, 4 RBIs in this series. Bourne, not a big lead. The breaking ball will be inside, and Joseph knocks it down.
Yeah, very nice play right there. You just figure maybe it's going to be away, and it's down and in. Easily could have gotten by him. Yeah, Santana, the game winning on Thursday night in extra innings, so right over the bag, hitting from the other side of the plate. One of those 4 hits, 2-run home run off Brad Brock yesterday, just over the glove of Nick Markakis in right.
And that will miss outside. Base stealing. Cleveland likes to try it once in a while. With Gonzalez on the mound, the Orioles have not thrown out a base stealer. Opposing teams are 7 for 7 when Gonzalez is pitching. Joseph has thrown out 3 of 9 behind the plate. Caleb making his 8th start as a catcher for the Orioles. That is in there. Santana was ready to take the walk. Doesn't get the call on the breaking ball.
Well, he's got 41 walks, leads the ball club, and the glove's away. I mean, the ball's over the plate. Nice, deftly grab by Caleb Joseph. And then Alan Foster, the home plate umpire, sitting right on that inside shoulder, right in front of him.
3-ball, 1-strike delivery. Runner not going, and he did walk him, in trouble already. First 2 are on for the Indians here in the first inning against Gonzalez, and now he's got to face this tough middle part of the Indians order.
Well, just about everybody in the lineup, with the exception of David Murphy, getting well in the series. I mean, they either came in, Brantley with a 10-game hitting streak, and he's hitting over 300. I mean, he's doing just about everything you can, both offensively and defensively, to help them win.
10-game hit streak for Brantley as he stands in. A couple of RBIs in this series. He's got 2 on, nobody out. Brantley with a 1 for 6 off Gonzalez. And the off-speed breaking ball is going to be in there for a strike. He tied him up with that one.
You know, a lot of times you'd like to be able to pitch into the second, third, fourth inning, not using all your stuff, but you never know when you're going to get yourself in a jam, and he's in one.
Brantley's 292 with runners in scoring position. Gonzalez has only given up 1 run in the first inning this year. Another breaking ball gets away. Runners will stay. Good job. Caleb Joseph kept it to the right and held Bourne. In this series for the Indians, they are 8 for 31 with runners in scoring position. These two teams in this series have had a lot of offense. Terry Francona's team has left 19 on base. The Orioles have left 28 on base in the first 3 games of this series. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Brantley with 2 on. And he'll pop that one back, and there'll be no play back into the seats. Shirt sleeve crowd here today. Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial beginning of summer. Of course, the beginning's not till June officially, but today this may be the best weekend you have all year weather-wise.
Well, nice breeze, not temperate temperature as far as, and no humidity.
And a lot of the service folks on hand for the ball game. That's going to be a base hit. Here's Bourne. They're going to wave him home. Nope. Zarbaugh will stop him at third base. Good throw made him by Markakis to do that. Base hit Brantley, and they're loaded with nobody out here in the first inning.
Yeah, you really cannot stay in the middle of the plate against this team. They do lead the major leagues in runs in May. And there's a splitter, just stays up enough. And you got a guy that's not over swinging at the plate. Yes, he can hit home runs, but he's trying to drive the ball. So if you throw the splitter, it's about maybe 6-7 miles per hour slower than your fastball, speeds the bat up. It stays up, becomes a hittable pitch.
So, of all the hitters in this lineup who've been hot, here's the hottest of them all. This is Chisenhall. He's 2 for 3 with a home run lifetime off Gonzalez. Bourne at third, Santana at second. Brantley is on at first base. Bases loaded. That ball put high up in the air. High sky, lot of glare. Jones trying to find it. Runners will tag. It'll get a run in. Bourne will score. Over to third base goes Santana. Chisenhall gets the sac fly and RBI number 10 and a 1-0 lead for the Indians.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't look like Adam got a good read on it. It's not a day where you can let the ball play you. You really have to try when you can find it, because of the wind, because of the glare, to be able to get to it, because they're not easy catches. And this ball is hit sky high. So again, right there you could see that stutter step, but now he's trying to track it. So your footwork really has to be good, and when it is, you can make this kind of throw. So the double play now in order. Good base running, because they do tag up, but you keep the guy from first, and now all of a sudden one pitch, and maybe you can have a 1-run inning.
And Nick Swisher will be the batter, switch hitter. He's hitting .220 left-handed, .193 right-handed. He's had just a 1 for 5 in the game. He's had some knee and leg problems that kept him out. As Drupal Cabrera, their shortstop, remains out. He's got a bump on the knee and hit a foul ball off his foot, which continues to bother him. So Cabrera's not playing today. That's why Sellers gets the start at short. Swisher's got a 4-game hit streak. He's not had a hit off Gonzalez. 0 for 6 against the Orioles starter.
And he makes you throw strikes. 28 walks, even though he's not having one of his typical years.
Down to third, foul.
Even though he chased a little bit out of the zone there, a couple of days off, played on Thursday, hasn't played since.
Swisher has played a lot of games against the Orioles, obviously, in this ballpark. He's a .249 hitter. He's had 24 home runs against the Orioles, and 18 of them have been hit here at Camden Yards. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Infield double play depth. Wind blowing to left a bit. And the off-speed delivery is going to miss outside. For Alan Porter, the home plate umpire, if you go by what players generally say about him, is that he probably is a hitter's umpire. He'll tend to have a fairly...
I mean, right there, that ball a lot of times would have been called, but it was around the plate.
Yep.
Now, if you're Miguel Gonzalez, you want it. But I think you're going to have to earn it.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Runners off first and third, and he'll stay away, and the count will go to 3-1.
Yeah, this is the master of working the count. Talked about it his first night here. Came through Oakland. You can walk, you can strike out, you can hit home runs. He did all of those things. Got him to the big leagues in a hurry, and he's hit 20 or more home runs the last 8 years. Playing with the White Sox, playing with the A's, playing with the Yankees, and now with the Indians.
He continues among the top in most pitches seen per plate appearance. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Gonzalez's delivery to him in the air to right field. Going back, Nick Markakis. Nick looking up, and makes the catch right in the corner. Tagging up is Santana. Throw will come into first, not in time to double. And a sac fly for Swisher. 2-0 lead, and that's as far as you can hit it and not have it go out.
Yeah, if it doesn't drift with the wind towards more a little bit center field, this ball might have gotten out of here. And you can take that little look back to see where he is, and probably had another 3 steps. But considering the glare, the sun, the wind, nice grab by Nick Markakis. And how about these Indians? All they're doing is getting them to third. You don't have to get a base hit with less than 2 outs, and they're getting them in.
19 RBIs on the season for Swisher. Here's Giambi. He's had a home run here in the series. He is 1 for 2, 3 RBI homer. Giambi, the designated hitter in the ball game today, and nobody on this Cleveland team has played more games against the Orioles than has Giambi. 30 lifetime home runs against the O's, 17 of them here at Camden Yards. 0-1 delivery with a shift on, and the pitch will be up and into him. A ball and a strike.
Yeah, 439 lifetime home runs, and seeing the numbers, like 217 down the right field line, and that home run was down the left field line here on Thursday. It gave them the lead at the time, and it's only the 23rd home run he's hit down the left field line and out of the 439.
He is right now 41st on the all-time home run list, chasing Dave Kingman and Ortiz, both of whom have 442. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. 2 runs in here in the first inning on a couple of hits and 2 sac flies. Giambi with a shift on, and the pitch will be taken down low, and a 2 ball, 1 strike count. So Gonzalez almost up to his ERA at home on the season here in the first inning, 2.7. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Pierce holding the bag at first. Gonzalez with a long set. And Giambi will be fisted on that one. Jones will come over and make the catch, and that'll do it here in the inning. However, a couple of runs in, 2 hits, 1 left on. The Indians have an early 2-0 lead. from Aberdeen. Aberdeen, the largest city in Harford County, home of the Ripken Stadium and the Ironbirds who play there, and the Aberdeen Proving Grounds, the Army post on 72,000 plus acres, the oldest active proving ground, all part of Birdland. Orioles lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Their fares online only at southwest.com. Markakis, Machado, and Jones, Cruz, Pearson, Hardy, Scope, Lowe, and Joseph. Last 10 for Cruz. He stays hot.
And the 23-year-old right-hander, that first number, that's what they like, because he's got about 5-6 pitches. They want him to throw mostly fastballs, incorporate the other ones. That's what he did. He's got 2 starts. His last one coming off a 6-inning 2-run game against the Tigers. A couple of solo home runs. So power arm, 2011, the 3rd pitcher pitch.
And a foul ball by Nick Markakis.
So can you harness your ability? And that's been the story with Trevor Bauer. They said very unique guy. As the article said, is he a robot or an introvert? Very much into the mechanics of pitching, but has a plus arm.
Or an introvert. Let it be made clear, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. There is something wrong with being a robot.
Well, they don't want me.
Unless you are a robot.
Yeah, right. Unless you're, that's cleaning your floors when you're not home. Yeah. They're just trying to get him to focus instead of, being out in there in the big picture world. Do the little things that allow you to pitch at this level. And there's a nice
down the line. Nick Markakis. Yeah. Brantley will come, and will get there. And Markakis retires.
So again, he signed with the Diamondbacks. There was a 3-way trade. So this is one of his hallmarks. Now it's also the hallmark. Alan Jaeger, is a guy that trains pitchers. Dylan Bundy. Orioles gave him what, $5 or $6 million. This is part of his program. And then they call him, he's maybe a little bit of the Happy Gilmore of pitchers, because just as Happy Gilmore, a hockey player, played golf, he'll come out, he'll run up the mound and fire his first pitch. Now he's toned it down a little bit, but apparently that wasn't liked out when he was with the Diamondbacks.
He's good. I really think this is a kid who's going to be really good. This one too. Orioles mighty happy to have Manny Machado back. Manny missing 2 with that right groin strain. And as we said, Buck Showalter did not complete his lineup until after Machado had a chance to come out, take some batting practice, and take some ground balls. And Buck asked him, "You all right? You ready to go?" And he said yes. And so he is in the lineup. Got brushed back by a pretty good heater right there.
Well, this guy's got a plus arm. I mean, he's got a very athletic. I mean, watch the knee kick, very quick. I'm not sure about throwing Manny Machado with a 2-0 lead, a 2-0 breaking ball in the first. And that's the things we'll probably see today. I mean, that's, hey, you throw 92 to 96, make him put the ball in play. It's not that you disrespect him, because we know how good a player Manny is.
And Manny will get a strike on the outside corner, and he'll come back. That will not help him with the next call on the pitch to the plate.
Well, he better hope it's out of the zone, or even not even close to the zone.
Pick the grass off his bat.
I actually thought it was a strike.
Could have been. Was. Yep.
I mean, at least by our rectangle, but.
Yep. So Manny Machado will move back in, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Manny back in that number 2 spot, and he'll foul that one back into the screen. This will be the first outing for Trevor Bauer against the Orioles. He has a record of 3-5 at the major league level, even though he spent most of his time pitching at the minors and in AAA. He had an interesting last year, and a timeout I think was taken there, no pitch. Last year, in all of the starts he made, and there were 4 of them, he only got 4 days worth of major league service, because he came up, pitched, and went down every time. That's a tough way to earn major league service time, 1 day at a time, only when you pitch. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and Machado takes it, and a check at first. Joe's not responding. Said no, and he's on.
Well, let's take a look at the defense. Now, the Orioles was sponsored by Chevrolet. Brantley, Bourne, Murphy, Chisenhall, Sellers, Aviles, Swisher. Santana moves from 3rd to 1st, now catching. And the theme of Chevrolet, 51 errors in 50 games? You didn't plug the volt in, the electric car. Because they're doing a lot of things. They're inching back to 500, but playing good defense hasn't been one of them.
They've given up a major league high 35 unearned runs this year. Yet are closing back in on 500, 24 and 26.
Well, great May, playing really well, scoring a lot of runs.
Jones on the big cut. Adam with a modest 3-game hit streak coming in. Although when you're talking about hit streaks for hitters, there's no such thing as modest. They've had a couple. It's good. He's had a big series here with the 500 average, getting on base, continuing his outstanding month of May. Machado won at first base. You got to believe with that coming off that groin stretch, he's not going to be doing much running. And a swing and a miss, mano a mano, 95.
Well, this is the way you pitch, and again, if you look at errors, this is what we're talking about. And the electric car, just I don't know why it doesn't run. Just didn't plug it in. Well, they do it. They've been doing a lot of work, but they do it mostly at home. Obviously, you saw Mark Lowe throw a ball away. They gave the Orioles some extra runs in there a couple of nights ago, or in their win. So trying to get the defense a little bit better.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and there's another heater, and this time up and in. So the reverse of what we often see against Adam on those pitches, instead of the slider down and away.
Well, just up the ladder, and you can see Santana standing. Stair step him, go right up the stairs. I mean, look at the rotation. I mean, this is a 4-seed fastball. This is how you, coming out of UCLA, where you're what, 23-4, striking everybody out. And that's how you get the ball to kind of take off. 4 seams, pull those seams down, and the ball has a tendency to jump a little bit.
So now runner at first, and there are 2 away, and here's Nelson Cruz. Nelson on the off-speed breaking ball in their first strike, so he ends Jones with a heater in the mid-90s and comes back on Cruz with an upper 70s off-speed pitch. 2 down, 0-1 strike. Cruz, 5-game hit streak. Cruz is DHing in the ball game today, and that'll get your attention. And Cruz staring out at him like there's some history. I don't think there is, but Cruz has given him a pretty good look on both those pitches.
Well, I think everybody knows who Trevor Bauer is because of all the things that have gone down. I know he was a high draft choice, 3rd guy picked of all the amateur players in 2011.
And a strike on the outside corner. Boy, that didn't look like it.
No, that wasn't. And maybe the first one. I mean, this slider, this is just off the plate. It's hard enough to hit when you got to swing at both strikes and balls, and I'm sure that point will be made.
Manny Machado, the lead at first, 1-2. Bauer, fly ball pitcher, off that first base side, way over on that side of the rubber. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and Cruz will foul that one back. Let's take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers and the extra base hit department.
Yeah, big article about Chase Utley now kind of getting close to having a great year. Seems to be healthy. And Nelson Cruz right in the middle. Goldschmidt's second in the MVP. Stan the longest home runs, and Jose Abreu on the DL, but great young hitter out of Cuba.
And a fastball up 96 and got him. So Bauer's got a couple of strikeouts, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. The Indians the lead after 1.
Go is, oh, there's another decent double play.
Jonathan Scope, one of two really good young players, along with Manny Machado, and a double play yesterday. Buck Showalter talked about before the game today. He didn't want it to go unnoticed. Well, you will see why, because he, around second base, he can make the turn about as well as anybody in baseball. Yesterday, watch this pivot at second. He's got a runner bearing in on him. It's a heck of a play. Buck's talked about it.
I can't tell you how few guys turn that double play in major leagues, the one he turned yesterday. And it won't be noticed. It'll kind of go as, oh, there's another decent double play. That's the tough one. Guy hit him pretty good, too, and bounced off of him pretty good. John, you know, you're always trying to get your legs, as after the throw, you get your legs in the air, because as long as your legs are in the air, you're not going to get hurt. But that one yesterday was so late that you had to take the blow.
Aviles with a long fly ball on the first pitch, and that will be hauled in by Lowe.
Yeah, he did a nice job, and he used second base actually to keep him, and at least hopefully from the runner going by the bag. I think it was Ryan Rayburn sliding in there, but then again also and we did talk about it because it was a very good play, but when you're getting beat 9-0 because you're not pitching well and leaving guys on, you know, Buck does not lose track of the important things, because down the road those things are important, maybe not as important as they should have been yesterday.
Here is Murphy trying to get out of a slump. The only guy in the lineup really who is dealing with that right now, as Murphy's average has dipped. You saw the 0 for 14. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and he will take the pitch from Gonzalez down low. Sellers waiting on deck, bottom third of the order, due up against.
Yeah, you want to have an easy inning and hope that Bauer, maybe the adrenaline or whatever that allowed him to throw like he did in the first inning, is going to change.
Murphy's had a 3 for 6 off Gonzalez, so maybe pitcher he sees well that he can get out of the slump with. And again, as the Orioles do with that 2-strike count, they move the infield around. They hadn't had the shift on until now. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him, and that's right there, and he can't believe it. He knew it. He just can't believe he took it.
Well, when you're 0 for 15, even though he's had some meaningful bats getting guys over because they've hit so many doubles, sometimes you just don't see the ball. I mean, it is a glary day. Came in red hot, came in inning, 449 with runners in scoring position, and then Miguel just buries a fastball outside corner.
First strikeout for Gonzalez, 2 down. That'll bring up Sellers, working for Asdrubal Cabrera at short. A couple of hits and 8 at bats in the series. Sellers with the 250 on the year. Straight away on him, outfield in a few steps. So the Orioles today, Nick Hundley is added to the roster. Chris Davis is on paternity. Preston Guillemette has been recalled from AAA, and Steve Lombardozzi has been sent to Norfolk. Those were the transaction for the Orioles. There's Guillemette. He never left Baltimore and knew that Davis was going to be going on paternity leave for the childbirth today. They are hoping will be, and we are too, all well. He intends to join the ball club if all goes well. Davis does for the second game in Milwaukee on Tuesday. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Sellers, and a check swing he went around on.
Yeah, Miguel Gonzalez, he already gave up 2 more runs than he probably expected to, so you just have to put on the brakes. Get your hitters back up there, and you've got plenty, at least got plenty of time to make up for the 2 runs.
1 ball, 2-strike delivery, and that will be outside. So Sellers, the 85-mile-an-hour watch, takes the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles heading out to Milwaukee for the first of 3 tomorrow. Long road trip off to Houston and then to Arlington for the Rangers. 2-2 delivery, and almost got him way inside, and a full count, 3-2.
A little fastball, you just kind of fly open, ball runs in, almost gets him. Sellers, dodgeball gets out of the way.
With Gonzalez on the mound for the Orioles, 8 starts. Team is 4-4 in those games. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and that's outside, and he walks him. So lost him on that at bat. Number 9 hitter, second walk of the ball game. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. You get a ticket to 6 games of your choice. Savings up to 20% off the cost of single-game tickets. You can lock in the best games, best promotions, and save. Go to Orioles.com/6-pack. Bourne a single and a run scored. So now Bourne's got a 9-game hit streak. 15 for his last 37, including 1 home run. Bourne at the top of the order, looking back at Alan Porter.
Yes, it's an expansive strike zone. Happy day before Memorial Day weekend. Start hacking.
And the pitch outside. I wonder, because of all the availability of statistics, players now know the umpire's tendencies. They know the guy behind the plate, whether he tends to favor his pitcher, hitter, or is pretty much upright. And I wonder that the umpires, knowing that, may be conscious of it and may tend to go the other way nowadays. If they're noted as a hitter's umpire, it maybe enlarge the strike zone because they don't want people thinking of them that way. I don't know that, but I do know every player knows every umpire's tendencies on ball strikes.
I mean, ideally, what the league wants is that they get graded, and you're supposed to call balls that are in the strike zone.
Yeah,
and maybe it'll be a little bit of difference, but there has to be some, I guess, rigidity to that strike zone, or otherwise you're probably not considered a good umpire. But everybody is just different.
Yep. But I've always thought, though, the umpires, as we talk about when we show you the graph, the ball coming in, take that baseball that we show you and move it either way by the size of the baseball. So you've got a little playroom.
Well, the plate's 17 inches wide, and Steve Palermo, who's a terrific umpire, and used to say, hey, I can give you another 2 inches because that's the width of the ball.
Yep.
So the plate goes to about almost 22 inches.
Yep. That ball will head into the shift, and Jonathan Scope is there. He'll make the play, and Bourne is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. The Indians the early lead. From Severn, you've won $500 for being selected. You get $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play the Orioles scratch off from the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be a contestant of the game. Win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley or the MLB World Series. Learn more, mdlottery.com/Orioles.
Well, here we talk about Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler, hockey player playing golf. This is the first warm-up. Now, this is not the only guy. Kevin Gausman maybe doesn't go this far. Orioles #1 draft choice last year, so that's the way he starts. But apparently he used to even do it more demonstratively, and they didn't like that in Arizona. But if he had been winning, then probably would have loved it. Everybody has a different style.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Here's Steve Pearce.
So introvert. He's not a robot. He's his own robot.
Right. He's his own robot. And the breaking ball will miss inside to him. Steve's got a 4-game hit streak, once again getting the start at first base. It's his 11th start at first for the Orioles. He was in while Chris Davis was out with the injury, and now with Chris on paternity leave, gets another shot at it. And the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, these are the times when you get a young pitcher. Already walked one Orioles. They're looking for a way to get back into the game, and come out of the bullpen, and there's a good strike. You're kind of wired. You're trying to get a rush going on, and then you sit for 5-10 minutes, come back out. Part of the process. A lot of guys think that it's difficult to do, and maybe it is. We'll see.
Bauer's making only his second start for them. He's an emergency fill-in pitcher, if you will. He was called up from AAA on Tuesday, got a win, 6 innings against the Tigers at Progressive Field in that last outing. Good on a couple of runs, 7 hits, 6 innings. Down to third and foul, just missed.
Yeah, that was his pitching coach, and Mickey Callaway did a terrific job with Ubaldo Jimenez last year. 3 runs or less, 27 out of 32. Take a look at Steve Pearce right here, just getting quick with the bat. If he can do that. So these are the kind of the critical times. He wants to get the first batter on. The Orioles want to get their leadoff hitter on. Sometimes that can make a big difference. Big inning, or just.
That ball is going to fall in for a base hit. So Pearce is on with a leadoff single here in the second inning in the no man's land for the Orioles. It is the final day of social media weekend, Orioles fans, and Masson is on site on Utah Street, rewarding fans with great prizes and exclusive opportunities. Be sure to follow the action on Facebook and Twitter by using #MassonSMW. That'll bring up J.J. Hardy, and the Orioles have their first hit off Trevor Bauer. Hardy with a 6-game hit streak in a big series against the Indians, and the pitch will be taken inside for a ball on the 95-mile-an-hour delivery. 5 hits, couple of RBIs in the series. JJ with a runner at first base. Outfield moves a bit to left now after the count, and pitched away in the other direction, and it goes to 2-0.
Yeah, having a great May. Not the home run bat that we've seen over the last 3 years, but 333. A lot of opportunities to drive in runs, using the whole field, playing stellar defense.
And Hardy will take a fastball strike at the knees. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on the Orioles shortstop. The Orioles in season series this season, 6 wins, 6 series losses, and 3 series ties. They want a 4th series tie if they can get a victory in this ball game. The Indians also playing series wise 500 baseball. They have won 7, lost 7, and have a couple of tied series. Terry Francona's team 6.5 games out. The Orioles find themselves 2.5 games behind the surging Blue Jays, with the Yankees ahead of them 2 games out. 3-2.
Yeah, slip there, and not the first time it ever happened to a pitcher. Yeah, you see somebody that I can see, there's a lot of emotions here. And one of the things about hitting, pitching, whatever you do in life, you better be in the moment. We'll see if he can do that this afternoon.
Runner at first, nobody out. Pearce is going 3-2, put up in the air in foul territory. And there'll be no play as Swisher goes over to take a look. Well, another injury. Mike Napoli's gone on the DL today. Dislocated left ring finger. 9th inning, stolen base attempt in the ball game yesterday, so Napoli's out.
Yeah, the Red Sox now have lost 9 in a row. 5 in the first. Never got 2 hits to the next 14 innings.
They are reeling. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Hardy will try it again, see if Pearce scores again here. Swisher holding. Runner off. Hardy, that took the mask right off the head of Santana. That will bring the trainer and manager out.
Yeah, Carlos Santana, he started at third and then right dead square. Went to first, now behind the plate. Yeah, those are the obviously you're going to look for concussion-like symptoms here, because this is square.
used to be that big some kind of laughter about it when somebody get hit like that, and not anymore. With all that's known about concussions now, those are serious moments, and you do not want to leave anybody out there that has any indications it may be a concussion symptom. So Santana goes back behind the plate, and Hardy goes back to the box. 3-2 count will be coming again. Pierce, he's been off the last 2 times, and he's running again. And Hardy goes down swinging, chance for a double play. No, stolen base for Pierce.
Yeah, perfect time to start a runner, because you want to stay out of the double play unless you get a line drive at somebody. But also, if you're Trevor Bauer, you got to throw his strikes. So this is not a straight steal. Santana actually makes a pretty good throw. He gets a huge jump. A little off balance throw. Nice tag by Aviles, and he's going to follow him all the way just in case Steve Pierce, with the momentum, goes by the bag. I'm not sure if he ever tagged him, but then got the glove to his back.
1 for 1 stolen base wise for Pierce.
14th on the year. That's 15th in the American League. Orioles don't run a lot.
Here's Jonathan Schoop. The Orioles here in the series, as we said, have left 28 on base. They are 6 for 27 with runners in scoring position in this series. This is their first chance in this ball game.
And look at Jonathan, 324 with runners in scoring position. Has a tendency to use more of the field.
214 overall, so that is a substantial difference.
I just think he thinks back up the middle, which is a pretty good way to hit in the first place. Saw him yesterday dump one over second base. If you hang a slider, that's where the power comes from. I mean, that's the one he hit off Tanaka. 3-run shot in New York early in the year.
1 ball, 1 strike count, runner off second base. That one blooped. Swisher going back, not going to get it. Good jump made by Pierce. Swisher falls down, coming home, no play. It'll be a bloop single and an RBI for Jonathan Schoop, and a 2-1 game.
That's not exactly what I had in mind about going to right field, because he just got sawed off, but it certainly works. And then, we talked about Swisher not playing from Thursday. I thought he had a throw at home, but he held the ball. So, right, I mean, it's just a running fastball right up on the label. So he's going to get to it in a little bit of a slide, and then Steve Pierce is going to make sure, and he's going to hesitate a little bit. Now they just send him. Bobby Dickerson, and Swisher doesn't even get his arm up.
Not sure about why he wouldn't throw there. Yeah. Obviously, either arm problem or he just felt he didn't have a play.
Well, he was out early. They didn't hit. The Orioles hit, a couple of guys hit on the field. He actually apparently hadn't been feeling that well. Some balls been going through his legs, but worked on turning the double play, making throws for about 10-15 minutes early.
So the Orioles make it a 2-1 ball game. Still only 1 away. That'll be RBI 15 for Jonathan Schoop. And here's David Lowe getting the start in left. Lowe's had an 0 for 3 so far in this series, and struggling at the plate with that 169 number. Chisenhall is in at third to try and take the bunt away. 0-1 delivery. Pick off at first, and back is Schoop. There were many who thought Jonathan Schoop might be the one who would be sent out today with a roster change needed. Obviously that didn't happen, and a lot of people thought the person who would stay and the reason Schoop would go would be here, Lamberdozzi. He's gone. He was the one optioned out instead of Schoop. Doesn't mean that it won't reverse itself in the future here, but right now the Orioles want Schoop to play. They play here, and the pitch, a breaking ball taken inside.
Yeah, you might have a few more options, in the sense that because of the injury to Machado, Flaherty's got some more at bats because he's played all over. Actually got some hits, 3-run home run, double earlier in the series. Well, we'll see how it all comes about as they go on the road.
2 ball, 1 strike count. That ball put up in the air, right field. Murphy. 2 down. Schoop will stay at first base. When the Orioles win, everyone wins, and all season long, when the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Just enter promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Another player they were talking about going out, perhaps today, Caleb Joseph. He's starting. Doesn't mean he won't be gone tomorrow or after the game tonight.
The Orioles are not going to carry 3 catchers. Pitch is taken inside, but with Hundley arriving just today, the Orioles wanting to give him a day to just get acclimated.
So, yeah, they said he took the red eye, and there's Nick talking to Matt Wieters, Matt on the right, and it's a kind of a brain trust right there. Vast resource of how to pitch these guys.
Well, it's a great chance for Hundley to learn here watching the game next to Matt. Buck Showalter on the deal said, we still hope Matt doesn't need anything, talking about elbow surgery, but you've always got to prepare for what if. So that's why they made the deal and got Hundley.
Yeah, ligaments can heal. I mean, Josh Beckett hurt one in 2002. He's still pitching. Never had surgery.
1-1 delivery on the way, and that's way up high. Santana with a rebound on that one.
Well, that's the one of the concussion checks.
Whoa.
You throw it over his head and see if he can jump after he takes one off the mask. He is a very athletic guy. I mean, he can play all over
the umpire.
He was heading down the that's where the umpires come out for the game. I think Jimmy Tyler ducked. Jimmy Tyler, former Oriole clubhouse guy, taking care of the umpires. I saw him. He was dodging.
And the pitch is going to be inside. And right now, Bauer's all over the place with his pitches on a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Even though there are 2 down and only 1 run in, he's had to work for it here in this inning.
Well, they're just hoping to end the pitch count where they want it. You're here in the second. He's already thrown 42 pitches.
Caleb Joseph, 3-1 delivery on the way, and he'll foul that one back. Caleb's mom and grandmother and grandfather are on hand for the ball game today, coming to see him play, and obviously hoping it won't be his last one at the major league level for a while, but nobody knows. Discuss hitters, discuss pitchers, learn. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner goes, fouled off.
Well, there's your #1 draft choice kind of fastball. Hit it, like you said, old-fashioned hardboard ball back in the first inning. They would, of course, like to have him throw a couple of 2-seamers and have some easy pitch count innings. But doesn't look like he's going to be doing that this afternoon.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Jonathan Scope running again, and the pitch up high. Second walk surrendered. Bauer talking to himself out there, and the Orioles keep it going in the second inning. 2 on, 2 down. And Nick Markakis will get an RBI chance, but first a visit to the mound. The Orioles have had the offense here in this series against the Indians, winning 1, losing 2. They've averaged 5 runs a game and hit .287. The trouble is the team ERA is 6.1. Starters have really struggled. Orioles starters 1-1 with a 7.5 ERA in this series, and the bullpen's ERA is 4.5.
21 runs coming in. Now make it 23 in 3+ games. Well, it just May has been that way, where they can't sync it up. Score runs or don't score runs. Pitch well or don't. 1-0 loss in Kansas City. Just think if they hadn't gone down to Tampa when Steve Pearce played so well and Chris Davis is out and swept that series. They're only 4-9 out of 13 games in the month of May.
And a swing and a miss. Markakis on the fastball. Nick flied out to left field his first time up. 2 on, 2 down. Last 10 days, Orioles, there are the offensive numbers, well above the American League average.
Well, 5 straight games of 12 or more hits. 5 straight games of, until yesterday, 6 runs or more.
0-1. Runners off first and second. And Markakis again on the heater upstairs at 95, 0-2.
Yeah, there's a tendency when you throw a lot of fastballs that hitters will chase a little bit if you're somewhere in the zone, because 95 is 95 with movement, so you better get the bat going. And yesterday, Corey Kluber, after Nick got 4 hits, I mean, he was in, he was away, great late run on his fastball, just didn't get a lot of good pitches to hit.
0-2 count, shift on against Markakis. Bauer looks back, and Nick will take it up a little bit higher.
With his 59 hits, Nick comes into the ball game among the leaders in hits. He is 7th in the American League, followed right behind by Adam Jones, coming in with 58. Altuve still leads with Houston, and Melky Cabrera of Toronto is 2nd with 66 hits. Melky Cabrera is having a somewhat quiet, fabulous season. 1-2 delivery. Thought about it. Check at third. No.
Yeah, an article in the New York Times today talking about the tumor he had on his spine. So a lot of people saying, well, maybe he's not the player, signed a 2-year deal, but he played hurt last year, and he's healthy.
And has always been highly regarded.
And I thought, teammates just said, we just hope he's authentic. But he works hard, he's doing a lot of things, and that's why they're leading the American League East. Oh, well, one of the things. They've done
a lot of right things. Timeout asked for it. Markakis will back out.
Didn't you mention yesterday they had the lowest starting ERA in the American League for Toronto?
That staff's been due for about 3 years. If they can just
in the American League East, let me qualify that.
Yeah, in the American League East. 2-2 strike count with 2 away. Rudders off first and second. Ours delivery and got him on a swinging strike. He throttled back on it. He's got 4 strikeouts, 2 in the inning. The Orioles get a run. Jonathan Scope the RBI, and it's a 2-1 game. Baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By American Standard. Celebrate the indoors today with up to $1,000 instant rebates or flexible financing. Visit your local American Standard dealer at midatlanticcomfort.com. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer on this glorious weather day. Lots of folks enjoying sights like that. A lot of youngsters on hand here on this Memorial Day weekend, and we hope you're having a good one and keep it safe. We go to the third inning. 2-1 ball game. The Indians on top. Gonzalez has Santana, Brantley, and Chisenhall. 2-3-4 in the Indians lineup. Santana drew a walk, scored in the first inning, and will take the pitch for a strike. There's nothing like summer and ice cream. Nothing goes together better, or fall, or winter, or spring and ice cream. There you go. Ooh-ah! Got him. Hit the jersey on the way by. He wasn't going to take it, I don't think. Santana, and arguing that is Caleb Joseph, who says no, it didn't hit him.
Yeah, this is not exactly Albert Bell when he played for the Orioles. Yep, got the jersey just barely. They hit him, and Albert said, "I'm not going." And the umpire said, "You need to."
Showalter's going to come out and talk about it.
Yeah, it looked like it just, barely nicked the uniform. Right there, underneath of the sleeve.
Moore coming out to speak up for his catcher there than really intending to argue about the call.
And not the way you wanted to start the third with the big boys coming up.
4th hit batter in the season by Miguel Gonzalez. Here is Brantley, base hit, 11-game hit streak
for Brantley now in his 5th hit of this series. Leadoff man on. Gonzalez retires 67% of leadoff batters. Solid number. And the pitch down to first base. Pierce, nice play. There's one. Relay back. There's two.
Well, the one thing, unless you Steve Pierce, especially, and he didn't this year. You know, he's healthy, wrist injuries. This guy he's very athletic. I mean, he can play the outfield. He can play first base. You know, we know about his prodigious power. A couple of springs ago, led the Orioles with 10 home runs. But he's an agile guy, and he showed that down in Tampa. Yeah, hey, I was surprised. You know, we saw Chris Davis play right field, third base. Pierce is one of those type of guys.
He was drafted as a first baseman. Yeah. That's where he played.
I mean, there was no hesitation.
So 2 down. Here's Chisenhall. He got the RBI and a sac fly first time up. Jonathan Scopes got this one. And that will do it. That is a quick inning right there. Only 3 batters faced despite hitting the leadoff batter, and it remains a 2-1 Indians lead. To the most specialized eye care, LifeBridge Health's Krieger Eye Institute handles it all. Call 410-601-2020 for a same-day appointment. There it is with the Brew Crew coming up and then off to Houston and Texas. And a couple of day games. Many of the fans see those caps. If you're active duty military, active duty, and you come to the ballpark, you can get one of those Oriole hats for free. Just go to the customer assistance booth and they'll take care of it. And a lot of veterans on hand here today and being celebrated by the Orioles.
Yeah, it was great to do that opening out in the park.
It's great.
You know, they get to mingle with the fans, people here for the Memorial Day holiday.
Congratulations to Elizabeth and Darren O'Day, who were in charge of that barbecue for the troops. They started it last year. Sold out this year. Down the line, could be. It's going to be foul. And Manny Machado will be back.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer, hand on hip, just waiting to see whether, and that's all you can do. Is it going to stay fair? Because you know if it's staying fair, it's a double. He just kept rushing the ball up there. Command not as good in the second as it was in the first.
Watching Manny running and walking back here to see if that right groin acted up on him at all. The way he looks, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
there was a little gimp there.
Yep.
That doesn't look 100%. 1 strikeout. Machado drew a walk his first time up. Bauer's delivery to him, and that'll be way up high.
And it's the right groin, so that's the one when you're hitting. You load on. A lot of torque.
Yep. And a foul ball. It'll come right straight back. Orioles trying to
Obviously, they want him in there, but they want him healthy. On the year, he has missed 27 games for the Orioles, and really just getting back into the swing of it here when the groin acted up on him, and it's really a day-to-day. He obviously gets to say whether he's ready or not, but I think in fairness, Buck Showalter and the organization worry that Manny wants to play so bad that sometimes they've really got to make an independent decision based on what they see. With Manny wanting to get in even if it kind of hurts a little bit. 2-ball, 2-strike count. You can play hurt, but you can't play injured.
Yeah.
Foul back. This is what we're talking about that cost him a couple of ball games.
Yeah, a couple of running plays on the first night, and so you can see right there it got up a little gingerly, and then right here he's going to have another where he comes up and then goes, so probably maybe aggravated it, who knows.
Yeah. Swing looks pretty good, and count stays at 2-2.
Well, it's got it progressively better, and if you've been reading about what went on in spring training early on, he actually, he got to hit a little bit and all that. He wasn't doing any lateral work because of the patellar ligament that had been repaired, but then they had to back him off, and then it took a while to get into the flow of things. But you can see much more comfortable recognizing pitches.
2-2 delivery, and he got him over the top on that. That's 5 Ks for Bauer.
Well, that's what he was known for, throwing 92 to 96 in this curveball. And it doesn't stay in the same spot. When you get on, when you throw a good curveball, you're able to get on top of it, and the spin out of your hand looks like your fastball. So you got one kind of jumping. You have the other one that has the illusion it's going to jump, and then it just falls off the table.
So he now has picked up in the 3 starts he's had this year 18 strikeouts in 14 and a third innings, and 1 away. That'll bring up Adam Jones, a strikeout victim, and Adam will take the pitch, and it is in there for a strike. Orioles have lost 9 of their last 13. They are a game above 500 coming into the ball game today. Ground ball to short. Sellers. 2 down. Orioles are going to be returning home on Friday, June 6th with a weekend series with the A's. Saturday, June 7th, first 25,000 fans 15 and over get the Manny Machado Platinum Glove bobblehead. Celebrate Manny's great defensive years, the top defender in the American League, and add to your collection. Tickets going fast. Get yours today at Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Orioles have not fared well in day games. They are 5-12. Sunday, everybody likes to talk about Sundays in the park with the Orioles. They're 1-6. What does that got to do with anything? Well, it just means they're 1-6 on Sundays.
We were having that philosophical question with Joe Angel in the radio booth. It's just a number. I said, well, it's a number. That means that they don't, at least this year, they don't play well. And
Why?
then you could expand it. Who's pitching? Did they hit line drives at people that day? Did they stumble running to first? I mean, you could throw a lot of if, whats, and buts in there.
2-0 delivery, and the pitch is a called strike, and again, one that Cruz kind of turns away from.
Well, how about just throwing this pitch? Of course, I mean, this is a slider on a 2-0 count. And I guess respect for Nelson Cruz, 15 home runs,
and comes back in on him, and a foul tip into the mitt. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Cruz.
Trevor Bauer reminds me of a lot of the young guys that I pitch with, where you're gonna take your stuff out there, you're gonna compete, and you're gonna go try to get them.
Into center field, hit hard. Bourne going back. Bourne at the wall, looking, and off the middle of the wall. Cruz has got to go into second base. He's got a stand-up double.
Yeah, becoming a fan favorite, maybe not of Trevor Bauer, who hangs a curveball. Boy, does this guy have some power. I mean, watch this curveball. Now, he's throwing some really good ones. It just stays up a little bit, and boom, he centers it. A little higher would have been his 16th home run of the year.
Taking a look, sees he's got second. Goes in with the 2-bagger, and the Orioles get the potential tying run on at second base. 2 down. Pierce, base hit his first time up.
And he will take the pitch up high for a ball. So the Orioles 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position so far. Get a chance to tie this game up. They had started the game trailing 2-0 with Cleveland getting a couple in the first inning. Pierce 3-13 with runners in scoring position, and another. That's a base hit. Brantley up. Dickerson waving him home. Here's the throw. Play at the plate. He is safe. Ball gets away. Runner down to second base. Had it been held on to, he probably was going to be called out, but the ball got away. Santana couldn't hang on, and it's a tie game.
Yeah, Brantley, already 6th assist. Trying to make it number 7 charge at him. This is a BB in the left, so it's going to be kind of a sprint to home. Cruz with a great jump. Here comes the throw. Great angle right here. Now watch him. He's off to the side. He'll step in, and if he holds the play, you're right, Gary. I mean, I think he's going to probably be out, even though part of his body may have been on the plate. The new rules, you cannot impede the runner, but you can catch it and go for the tag, and then when he does, he comes right out.
2-2 ball game, and the pitch taken outside by Hardy. These are the plays where the new rule really matters. If we're back under the old rule, Santana's right in the base path.
Or he's there and he's going to try to take and make him go to the outside, so he'll have more time to tag him. Or if you're Mike Scioscia, you just never let him get to the plate.
Yeah. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that is in there for a strike. Hardy, a strikeout victim, his first time up. There you see the runner may not run out of the direct line to initiate contact with the catcher, and the catcher may not block the pathway of the runner attempting to score if he doesn't have the ball. Umpire's judgment on the call. When you get the ball, you can move in, but until then, you got to leave that path open. 1-1 delivery and another foul. What a day for Santana behind the plate. Another one off his head. Man.
He's probably thinking, after catching most of the games last year till Yan Gomes came on, maybe it's a good thing I'm playing first and third.
This is just a reminder why I don't want to be here.
Only his 10th start behind the plate today. Well, there we go. There's the graphic.
Ooh.
All over. And maybe that's probably a fact. I mean, he had a monster year hitting. You don't think playing different positions hasn't maybe altered that offense a little bit?
1 ball, 2 strike count on the Orioles shortstop. Hardy will foul that one back again.
Well, they're making him work, and that's 97. That's the best, at least, velocity right on the outside corner. And JJ does a nice job to foul it off. And otherwise, he's going to get the glove.
Hardy's now moved into the top 10 with runners in scoring position, hitting .391. That is the 3rd best average behind Miguel Cabrera and Kirk Suzuki. 1-2, runner off second. Orioles have tied it up here with 4 hits. Runner goes, check swing, and I think he's calling it on a swing. He's got to tag him. Hardy's out and doesn't know it. J.J. Hardy is called on a swingy 3rd strike. That's 6 Ks in the ball game for Bauer. The Orioles, though, are going to pick up a run in the RBI single by Pierce, and this ball game is tied now at 2-2. There's the check swing called strike. Notebook. Let's take a look at a couple of the Sunday columns from Gary Shelton. Tampa Bay Rays. On the Rays, it lacks power, doesn't have a lot of speed, and there are 2 and 8 pedestrian hitters in the lineup. Yet, he said, every night the team finds a way to pull another keeper out of the calamity, which they did last night. And Nick Cafardo of the Boston Globe, seriously, talking about the Red Sox. Who are these guys? The Red Sox have been dreadful, pathetic, any derogatory adjective you want. The mindset has changed. The confidence has gone. From the Sunday columns.
Yeah, that's the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Yeah. Watching a little bit of the Yankee game, Ellsbury, I think, well, he's hitting 320. Well, he's hitting 270. Hits a walk-off home run. Yep. Well, actually, it wasn't walk-off, but it was extra innings, and they got to walk off after Robertson came in and got the close. So it's a new year. Take away the wins.
It's going to be an interesting season, and for all the divisions, I think. There's no one team you look at and go, yep, they're the ones. And in each division, there are battles here, and especially the American League East.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be the Tigers. They rolled into Cleveland having won 11 on the road, and then Cleveland beat them 3 in a row to get back somewhat in the race.
Yep.
Get closer to 500.
1-1 delivery. Nick Swisher will foul it away. Swisher, RBI sac fly. His first time up. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Orioles, 2 runs on 2 hits for the Indians. The O's have left 4. The Indians have left 2.
And then how about the Indians? Right before they did that, Oakland rolled into Cleveland and outscored them 32-13 and steamrolled them in 3 games.
Yeah, it's been that kind of year so far in the first 2 months. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that will be in the dirt. With the 31 wins, the Giants now have won more games than any other major league team. They lead the Rockies by 4 in the West. Oakland now with 30 wins, 2.5 game lead over the Angels. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Gonzalez's delivery and off speed fooled him and got him.
Yeah, late on the fastball and wasn't a great one, but what is great about it is he's not looking for it. Watch him just tumble into the zone. Good movement. And he gives up on it. I don't know what he's looking at, because it ends up pretty much right in the middle of the plate.
Second strikeout for Gonzalez.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of hitters are going to be taking those close to 2 strikes pitch today on purpose. No. May happen like that one. Not with the big strike zone.
Here is Giambi. He takes the pitch away. Giambi flied out his first time up. Giambi, another trying to get back into playing shape on the DL. Fractured rib that he suffered. Took him out of almost all of spring training. Then had a calf problem when he got back. So he's had limited chances at the plate. Only the 7th game he's played in, and only 16 at bats. He has, however, picked up a home run in this series. Gonzalez with a 2-0 delivery to him, and Giambi will put it up in the air. Jones, 2 down. Orioles invite you to a very special American Red Cross blood drive coming up Saturday, May 31 from 8 to 4 at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. All donors get 2 tickets to an upcoming game, the chance to meet the Oriole Bird and former O's players. Advanced appointments already booked. Walk-ins will be accepted. See American Red Cross blood drive this Saturday, the 31st, from 8 to 4 here at Oriole Park. Aviles will take the strike. 2 down, nobody on. Aviles flied out his first time up. 2 runs first inning. Chisenhall and Swisher sac flies after Bourne's single and Santana's walk started the inning. Orioles Pierce an RBI base hit. Jonathan Scope the same. 0-2.
Well, Miguel getting in a little bit of a groove. Struggled in the first inning. Got out of harm's way with only giving up 2 runs, which, as we mentioned, more than he wanted to give up, but that didn't have the big inning.
And the 0-2 pitch, and he's going to be called out again. The home plate umpire, Alan Porter, saying he went around on it. He didn't believe it either. So 3 strikeouts for Gonzalez, 2 in the inning. He retires the side in order. You make the call. Ball game tied 2-2. Camden Yards, located outside, is this urn that is encased. It used to be at Memorial Stadium in the concourse. Memorial Stadium obviously was one of the many structures built for sports that was called a memorial to those who had served. And it says underneath there, this urn contains earth of the hallowed ground of U.S. military cemeteries throughout the world. And when the memorial was taken down and the Orioles came to their new home here at Camden Yards, that was moved. And it is here outside parking lot A. And we thank, along with them, all of you who have served and are serving in our military and the many on hand here today. 2-2 ball game as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Jonathan Scope has picked up an RBI with a bloop base hit over the head of Swisher his last time up at first. Lowe and Joseph to follow. Fouls it off the other way. Trevor Bauer's got 2 walks and 6 strikeouts so far.
Yeah, he's thrown the ball well, but look at the pitch count. Going into the fourth, so not where he wanted to be with that. Kind of where the Orioles wanted to, even though they have the 3rd best bullpen in the American League. And because of the 9-0 game yesterday, they brought in a couple of guys, but it was pretty much to get work after using 16 in the 3 previous days, so they're pretty well rested.
Got their bullpen righted again. 2-1 delivery, and again the other way, late on the fastball and fouled off.
Well, that's part of pitching. If you can command the outside 3rd quarter of the plate at 95, and they play Jonathan a couple of steps to right field, that's kind of how you pitch. Home runs down, runs down. You pitch more to center field, play him away, and pitch him that way.
2-2 delivery on the way to him, and a ground ball the third. Oh, look what I found. Chisenhall makes the play. Nice one.
Well, they were talking about all the errors, 51 errors coming into today, and that is a nice play. Everybody playing different positions. Chisenhall can play the outfield. Santana's a catcher, playing 3rd and 1st. You're missing Kipnis. Cabrera made a couple of errors, especially the other night because of the leg injuries, foot injuries. So I'm sure that when you talk to Terry Francona, things are going to calm down.
Kipnis due back on Tuesday. Play at second base. The Indians are happy about that. He's been working out, getting ready to go, and they said today, Terry did, Tuesday will be the day they'll bring him back if all stays as is.
Yeah, he's a month almost with an oblique.
4/29 was the date he went out. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. David Lowe. Lowe flied out to right field, his first time up. David coming into this season carrying a .278 career batting average at the major league level in 116 games, but it has been a struggle at the plate for him so far this year. No home runs, 3 RBIs, and the fastball will be taken up high. Orioles head out after the ball game for Milwaukee. It'll be a day game tomorrow, Memorial Day. Chris Tillman, Kyle Loesch are the scheduled starters, and that's way up high, and he walked it. He didn't even come close on that. 3 free passes. And it's now time for all fans to tweet their photo using hashtag #MassenFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast brought to you by AT&T. 1:30 for O's Extra tomorrow. 2 o'clock for the ball game, and then 2 night games. Wei-Yin Chen and Matt Garza, Bud Norris and Marco Estrada. Here's Caleb Joseph. 2-2 game, runner at first and 1 out. Runner goes. Here's the throw. Off the mark into center field. Backed up with the shortstop Sellers. Lowe gets a stolen base.
So that's 2. Came in with 13, and now you have 15. This is one of the things he does if he can get on, which has been a struggle. Number 5 been caught once. Thinking about going to 3rd. Santana only threw out 16% last year, so good arm, but erratic arm, and Low in easily. Go ahead run now in scoring position.
So Caleb Joseph looking for his second RBI since coming up for the Orioles. 1-0 count. Orioles 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position today. A chance to get the lead.
Did it in a somewhat unconventional way, walk with the bases loaded.
Trevor Bauer with one away. Markakis on deck. He'll be looking for a K here if he can get one. He's told that runner at second. Shattered the bat on the foul ball down the first base side. 1-2.
Yeah, when you don't play a lot and the guy's got good stuff and he's all over the place, which is what's going on with Trevor Bauer, you're probably going to expand the strike zone, and that's what he does. It looked like a cutter that just backed up, and now it comes even harder. Big strike zone. Power pitcher with 3-4 pitches. And you don't want to get called out.
Low off second base with that real good speed. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and a breaking ball to short. They're going to look to third, go to first. Sellers will record the out. Joseph retired, 2 down. Over to third base goes David Lowe.
Yeah, Sellers had plenty of time. He figured out, I'll get the speedy guy if I can, but the angle was not good. Well, now he just hopes his pitcher, because he gets the second out, can get the third out before the Orioles score.
And that will bring up Markakis at 296 on the year, 0 for 2 in the ball game. 2 down and a runner at third. Orioles can get the lead on a base hit here by Nick. Bauer's delivery to him, and that will be down low for a ball. Orioles continue to lead the American League as a team, 282, with runners in scoring position, and Markakis at 299. One-0 delivery on the way, and that one will miss as well. So he gets the hitter's count 2-0.
Yeah, just blew him away the last time, and then struck him out on a curveball and cut her in on his fist the first time, and now he's going to his changeup. Here in the fourth, has not thrown any till this inning or till this batter.
And that pitch is going to come inside. He continues to roam around out of the strike zone here, and the count is now 3-0. And Manny Machado waiting on deck. Nick came into the ball game tied for first in singles hit this season in the American League. One of those will get a run in. 3-0 delivery, and he takes the pitch. He had a green light, but that was just too tough a pitch. 3-1.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't taking anything off to throw a strike. 96 inside quarter. That's when you have to pitch. When you're not a pitcher, you're a thrower. You better give him your best stuff.
3-1 delivery on the way. Markakis, did he go? Yep. One plate umpire, Alan Porter, makes these calls himself here today on these check swings. That's the third one, and it's 3-2.
That way out in front of home plate.
Yep. 3-2, 2 down. Low the potential go-ahead run. Full count delivery to him, and got him. Nick was already to head down. 7 strikeouts recorded in the ballgame by Bauer. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a base runner left on. And the Orioles have now stranded 5 in the ballgame, 4 in scoring position.
Lon Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by Luna. For beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. A lot of folks around the Inner Harbor today enjoying this beautiful day here in Baltimore. We hope you are. Ball game tied at 2. Final game of the 4-game set. Orioles will be making a trip out to Cleveland to reciprocate later on this season. And right now at hand, trying to win this one and even it up 2-2. And a swing and a miss by Murphy. Murphy called out on strikes his first time up. Average dropping down here in this series with the 0 for 15 in his last at bats.
Yeah, 7 years with the Rangers. So he's what, at 266, 275 his major league batting average, with 13 to 17 home runs. 1 year he hit 19.
Gonzalez with a couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. He's only given up 2 hits to the Indians, and they were both in the first inning. Single by Bourne leading it off, single by Brantley. No hits since then. In fact, he's only given up a walk and a hit batter, and since the first inning is only 1 over the limit on batters faced. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Shift put on now with the count, and hit the other way in a base hit. So he went against the shift that time, and Murphy's on, and that'll end the 0 for leadoff single here in the 5th inning. Our PNC minor league report is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Trey Mancini over the last 10 games with Delmarva with that .400 average, 7 RBIs, 4 runs, and on the year an average above .300. Real solid offensive numbers for Mancini.
Yeah, very much so. When you're in the minors, you don't want to linger and wherever you are very long. Put up the numbers. A lot of times you'll get moved up.
And it is that time of the year where the organization's talking about who gets moved up and who doesn't. Sellers up with a runner on at first base, hit number 3 for the Indians in the ball game.
Yeah, see, that's it. They put the shift on, as you mentioned, Gary, but sometimes the shift doesn't take the fact that he makes a pitch away. The guy's 0 for his last 15. He's just trying to put the ball in play. A little bit different hitter than maybe the one you thought you were going to see.
Wanted to mention on Mancini, it's only his 2nd season. Aberdeen, he hit .328 last year. He was named the minor league baseball player of the year in the New York Penn League. Wonder who he was cheering for in lacrosse yesterday. He's from Notre Dame. Sellers, 1-0 count. Timeout, no play. Runner was going. That was kind of weird. It was the hitter who had asked for the timeout and had Murphy on base going.
It kind of tells you it might have been a run and hit. Terry Francona trying to get some more offense. They've had a good one. Those were 5.3 runs a game in the month of May.
Sellers with the walk his first time up. Machado even with the bag at 3rd. Pierce holding at first. Not a big lead at first base. 1-0 count. Pitch out. Ooh, that was almost hittable.
Yep.
That came back in and was close to the outside part of the plate. Caleb Joseph had to reach back in to get it. That's why you never give up on a pitch. Hitters have hit some of those.
I saw when I was talking to Miguel Cabrera when the Tigers were in, he beat us. He beat the Orioles when he was with the Marlins. He tried to intentionally walk him. He just reached out, hit a single in the center.
2-0 count on Sellers. Runner not going here either, and it'll be bounced into the Cleveland dugout. The count goes to 2-1. Interesting battle with a number 9 hitter. Bourne waiting on deck. Gonzalez at 61 pitches thrown, and Murphy looking over to 3rd. See where or not he's supposed to.
Well, yeah, this is your classic hit and run count, and the reason for that is because got a little bit of speed. 14 out of 16 about 4 years ago. Got to throw a strike. Contact hitter. And the whole thing about hit and run, the hitter's going to put the ball in play, hopefully, on the ground. Somebody has to eventually cover, and you open up a hole. And with nobody out, they'd love to get a runner to third with less than 2 outs, or in this case, with nobody out.
Runner goes 2-1 outside, should hang him by a mile.
And then, so obviously it wasn't a hit and run, but maybe it was supposed to be.
Not even close, as Joseph has now thrown out 4 of 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking. It looks to me this is a straight hit and run, and Sellers misses the sign. And I don't know that. Or maybe he just thought it was so far out he couldn't have done anything. But when you put the hit and run on, you better protect the hitter, or this happens. And by a wide margin.
It was a long wait. Foul bag by Sellers. So that is the first time with Gonzalez on the mound this year that a base stealer has been caught. 1 out of 8. Kind of laughing over there because he knows how far he was away from the bag when Artie had the ball. 3-ball, 2-strike count on Sellers. Gonzalez with the bases empty, and he'll get the strike.
Good ball. Nice little tail. That's how he gets the strike called. Big strike zone anyway, but it comes back just enough. Watch this ball run left to right. And Caleb Joseph, he can watch him hold this glove to present it to the umpire, Alan Porter. And he didn't catch it. Part of the glove is over the plate, but the webbing might have been off the plate. But I think the illusion was that it was a little closer than it was.
Gets the out, 4 Ks for Gonzalez. Bourne will bring Machado in a bit at third. He's picked up a base hit, scored, and he has grounded out. 7 for 14 now in the series. 9-game hit streak for Bourne. And working him in and out. That pitch is going to miss away. Good game here. 2-2 in the top of the 5th inning. It's either a 2-2 series or the Indians go home with a 3-1. And the pitch will be taken inside. So the count goes to 2-1 on Bourne. Gold Glover a couple of times out there in center field, covers a lot of territory. 2 real good center fielders in this series, in Jones and Bourne. 2-1 pitch by Gonzalez. That's the other way foul. So with all the pitches that have been thrown by Trevor Bauer, Mark Lowe is loosening up in the pen for the Indians.
Yeah, he got called up Thursday. He's already pitched in 2 of the games. Actually make it 1.
Shift is on here, and he reached for it and fouls it off. For Bourne, if you really trusted your bunting, you'd lay one down to third even with 2 strikes, because it's a guaranteed hit. And we'll foul that one off. It'll stay at 2-2.
Yeah, not too many guys really can do that, but that's why I think you and I actually did an ESPN game when first time I ever saw Robbie Alomar, and when we were in San Diego, and when he came here every day he would come out at home and work on his bunting.
Get you some base hits, boy. Well, he's going to do it that way anyway. It'll go into right center field. Markakis over there to get it. So 2 outs, 2 singles in the inning rather, but there are 2 outs in that stolen base attempt Murphy had when he got caught. Matters and looms larger here. Bourne 2 for 3 in the ball game. Each team with 4 hits. Santana coming up. Switch hitter's drawn a walk, and he has been hit by a pitch. Enters the game second in walks picked up in the league. Now is tied Bautista for what we know. Toronto's playing today. But Bautista had 42 starting the day. Santana's got 42 now. 2 down and 1 on. And Bourne not a big lead and not going, and the pitch taken for a ball.
Yeah, we told you about the changing all the positions, but he had 39 doubles last year. 20 home runs, drove in over 70.
It's been just a real tough couple of months with the numbers way off for Carlos Santana. Gonzalez delivers to him, off speed pitch for a strike. Santana is first in the American League on this Sunday in pitches seen per plate appearance. He and Nick Swisher have been among the top 3 in the league. Held it, doesn't get the call on it, and it's 2-1.
Well, it's been called a strike on occasion. I mean, right on the inside corner, and he jumps out of the way. Apparently Porter goes for it.
2-1 count with 2 down. Runner not going, and that's away. And the count goes to 3-1. So Santana 3-1 count with Brantley waiting on deck in this 2-2 ball game. And Gonzalez up to 75 pitches thrown. Warren got the single. He's not moved over there at first. (3-1) not moving here either, and it's inside. That one not close. So 3 walks by Gonzalez. First and second and 2 down. And Brantley coming up. Cleveland's only had 1 chance with a runner in scoring position, 1 for 1. They got their 2 runs in the first inning on sac flies. The Orioles responded. Jonathan Scope with an RBI base hit, and the same for Pierce to tie the ball game up. And now Brantley gets the chance. Gonzalez much more successful holding the left-handers down than the righties this year. 90-point difference. And the pitch in the dirt. Joseph with a good stop will hold the runners.
Yeah, it looks like he uses his curveball, a pitch he didn't use the last couple of years, more to him. Also, the splitter seems to be more effective. Because he's more comfortable to his glove side, which would be the inside corner to the lefty, to get in on him.
Brantley, their big RBI producer, and he is 6th in the American League in runs batted in. 1-0 delivery to him. That's in the dirt, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, you don't see Michael Brantley overswing. He's not one of these guys that takes wild swings, and look at all his hits sprayed around the ballpark. Already 1 less home run than he hit all last year. So struggling here in the 5th with his control.
Cleveland 2nd in the league in walks as a team. Oakland number 1. 2-0 count. And got one to ground right there. Jonathan Scope will move over to get it, and Gonzalez works his way out of it. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 are left on base. The Orioles, Manny Machado, Jones, and Cruz coming up. That's the wrap up of the 4 games, the Indians and the Orioles. And the Orioles trying to stay above that 500 mark. Last time the Orioles were at 500 was on April 27th. And they need a win today to avoid going back to that number. Every Sunday, a youngster gets to come out and get second base. The second base steal presented by SK. And it was Mary McQuinlan, a 6-year-old out of Silver Spring, who came out to get that one. The base is almost bigger than she is. She needs to come back to right field. The bird had to come out here and give her a little hand. Winner gets 4 tickets to a ball game, gift certificates, Orioles jersey, and a prize pack. She made it. She made it all the way, and she turned around and waved to the crowd. Had a big smile on her face. Good job, Mayor. You know, Mayor. And we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Manny Machado, a strikeout, and he is walked. Jones and then Cruz are due up.
Hello. Yep. Well, the bullpen up for the Indians, and you're right about the Orioles. You got to find a way to win this game. Gonzalez has settled down. Got to get some hits. Maybe Bauer will give you a little bit of help. 92 pitches, 53 strikes, 39 balls. But the stuff pretty good, real good.
How long can he go is the question. They're ready to make a move as necessary with that bullpen warmed up in the last inning. 2-1 delivery, and that'll be in the air to right field. Hit pretty good. Turning around Murphy. Murphy looking. And off the top. And I think that's a homer. Give me a signal. Yes. Goodbye home run. Manny Machado gives the Orioles the lead, driving it just enough in right field on the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, Francona already out because he's going to ask the umpires to take a look at that. And he's looking back in the dugout. Joe West, the crew chief, is coming in.
They're not going to argue it.
Yeah, it's up on that green pad, and
so Manny Machado delivers his 2nd home run, picks up his 4th RBI, and the Orioles go on top by a score of 3-2. The 3rd home run surrendered by Bauer this year, and the Orioles' first lead of the day. And a strike by Jones.
Well, he can get on the high fastball, and this is what the Orioles, I mean, they've seen a lot of pitches, but this is one of them out over the plate. Well, that'll make the groin feel better. Missed a couple of games.
Good pitch down and away. Well, smiling Manny Machado after missing 2 back in the lineup. And Greg Samples, our Maryland Lottery contestant today, gets another $500 off that one, and 1,000 total so far. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and chased one up high. 8 Ks.
Powder River. Here's my best. Let's see if you. I mean, and Adam, pretty good high ball hitter, but not at this level, and not with 2 strikes. So he's just kind of up the ladder to him all afternoon.
Bauer, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Cruz a double, and he is struck out. Cruz closing in on the 300 batting average. More importantly, though, those home runs and RBIs. The Oriole leader in each category, and in fact he is tied for first in homers and leads in RBIs in the American League. 3rd best slugging percentage in the league, and came inside and softly put that one in at 80 miles an hour. 0-2. That'll be fouled back into the seats.
Well, part of Trevor Bauer's whole makeup and whatever is to condition yourself to pitch and pitch at a high level. So still at 96 on his 100th pitch, not feeling any fatigue.
And here's the 0-2 delivery.
Nor should you be. I mean, there's no reason pitching every 5th day why you can't throw 100 pitches and be able to sustain your velocity and your command and your windup.
And again will miss up high. This is his 11th major league start over the last couple of years. 3-5 record. This year a 1-1. ERA of 4.76 overall for the starts in the last 2 years. 2-2 and up higher than ever. Cruz in his at bat just staring out here at Bauer right from the get-go in this game. Bauer slams his glove with the ball in it after getting it back after that last pitch.
Well, the Orioles are lucky he's wild up and down, kind of like I was, not in and out.
3-2, hung in, fouls it back. No play.
That's what's so great about Nelson Cruz. He's already got a double on a curveball, and that was a good one, and that's a home run swing. So really seeing the ball well out of the hand of the pitcher.
3-2 count with one away. Machado's home run. Let's put the Orioles up 3-2. And that one's up in the air, left center field. He got a lot of it back towards the fence, and goodbye, home run! Back-to-back homers in the inning. Machado, at least in the inning they get him, and Cruz. And Nelson Cruz continues an unbelievable show. 16 home runs and 44 RBIs and a 2-run lead for the O's.
Yeah, normally when a guy takes a home run swing on a breaking ball and you're throwing 93 to 97, you don't come back with another one, but he does, and he hangs it, and that's all it takes. A couple of home runs in this inning. Terry Francona on his way to the mound. And
Greg Sample's loving this inning, our lottery contestant. There's another 500.
Now there's the breaking ball, and it just stays up enough where, boy, he can get the bat head to the ball. Speeds up the bat, and he just crushes it.
And that will do it for Trevor Bauer. The starter's out of there, and the Orioles have a 4-2 lead. And Cruz as they each get one here in the 5th inning, and the Orioles go on top with the 2, and that takes Bauer to the bench.
Yeah, power arm, and scattered it all over the place, but you can see the 8 strikeouts. Pretty impressive. Of course, they made this trade a couple of years ago because they're just hoping down the road he'll be one of their better starters. So he showed glimpses of that. The Orioles, of course, the home run ball came in tied with the Indians. They take the lead. Lowe, he's already seen him twice. Made a big throwing error in the Orioles' 8-4 win on Friday night. Didn't handle a bunt very well, but pitched well. Cutter, slider. We saw him in spring training. Pitched, trying to make the Rays team, and started a game down in one of our televised games. Fastball, slider, and a little bit of a cutter. Actually throwing the ball pretty well.
30-year-old will come on with the bases empty and 1 down, and Pierce up. Pierce already 2 for 2. He's had an RBI, he's scored a run, he's stolen a base, and played a solid first. So another outstanding game for Steve Pierce. And Lowe's pitch to him, swung on for a strike.
Yeah, I was looking at those the box scores on the games when Chris Davis hurt his oblique, and he not only played, but he played especially down in Tampa. 5-3, 4-3, 3-1 wins. And Pierce went 4 for 10 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, and picked it at first.
0-1 delivery to him. That'll be outside.
And then he had been designated for assignment. Was going through waivers, claimed by Toronto, declined it, and came back to the Orioles. That's a pretty good decline for the O's.
Great player to have around with the versatility he brings. 1-1 delivery to him. He puts that one up in the air, left center field, back near the warning track. That'll take a hop and go over the wall. A ground rule double, and Pierce is 3 for 3 in the ballgame.
I just get the feeling from watching him take batting practice and what we see on the field is that even though he doesn't play all the time and just gets this one and hits it to deep left center field, that he understands how to prepare himself. You know, a guy that maybe has come to terms with, I may never be a regular player, but I can certainly stay in the big leagues and be productive if I do certain things, and he's figured it out.
That is his second 3-hit ball game of the season. Pierce on with a double. It'll bring up Hardy. Hardy has struck out a couple of times. The Orioles now with 7 hits as Lowe gives up the double. 1 down still, and the slider will be away and up. 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 1/3 innings off Bauer. He had the 3 walks and 8 strikeouts, 2 home runs against him. And the Orioles making some room here in the 5th inning. Hardy will take the pitch. He will catch the outside corner. 1-1. Lowe in the 2 games against the Orioles has worked 2 innings in this series. He has given up 4 runs, but they were all unearned. However, it was his error that created those runs. Couple of hits off him, 3 walks and a strikeout.
See, it's not very rarely that you ever get to see a guy 3 times in one series, but this was 4 games, so they know what he's doing. I mean, he loves the cutter, loves the slider. You know, he's not 97 anymore. He's 93. He pulled that one, maybe 94 off the corner.
2 ball, 1 strike count. There is the young 23-year-old starter. 1-1 on the year. Pitcher of record, obviously, going out here on the losing side. Low ready, and the 2-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss. Another breaking ball down. 2 balls and 2 strikes on J.J. Hardy. Hardy up to 291 with his average. 5 for 12 in this series. Looking to extend his hit streak to 7 if he can pick another hit up in the ball game. Two-2 is going to be lashed into left field. Brantley with that great arm will hold the runner. Dickerson does. Throw to the cutoff man. So Lowe not getting anybody out here. First 2 on against him. 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, you better make some real good pitches. I mean, Steve Pierce is not going to score here because he's going to wait to make sure this clears Chisenhall. And now he'll break. And we'll certainly know. Bobby Dickerson, 3rd base coach, that Brantley's leading the American League in assists. We've already seen him make 2 really good throws in this series.
So Jonathan Scope will get another chance at it, where he has been at his best at the plate. And he has a chance for an RBI. Picked one up in the 2nd inning on a base hit, grounded out his 2nd time up. 1st and 3rd. And with only 1 out here. And again, we'll get the visit to the mound. Bullpen will be activated again. Outman up in the bullpen. Josh Outman.
Yeah, the Thursday night game went 13 innings, so we saw just about everybody. He was one of them.
Ricky Callaway heads back.
And Jonathan Scope will stand in. 15 runs batted in on the year now. First and third, and only one away. Set up outside to him. Got one a little closer to the middle on a swing and a miss.
Yeah, well, that's the big swing, and I think we see that a lot earlier than we do with 2 strikes. I mean, that's a young hitter trying to maybe do a little bit more than he needs to. More controlled swing was a pretty good pitch to hit, but pulled the head, pulled the shoulder.
Again, the setup way outside, and again, that's where it is. And the count goes to 0-2. So Lowe seeing just how far he can throw that ball away and get Jonathan Scope to go after it.
Well, that's pretty much what it's kind of a cat and mouse game where hitters will expand. You just keep expanding with their swings. If they make you throw it over, you go, don't like that.
Way outside again. Look where he's set up. This one taken, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Santana checking over in the dugout, their catcher, with the runners at first and third. See where he goes this time. See if he stays out there and moves in. 1-2. Right back out. And a swing and a miss, so it worked.
Yeah, cutters, and then a really good slider. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, comes out, said, hey, don't give in to this guy. Make your pitches. That's why Mark Lowe was pitching well at AAA Columbus. Actually pitched very well in spring training for the Rays. They just didn't have a spot for him.
Now first and third and 2 down, and Lowe coming up. He is walked and flied out. The Orioles 2 home runs in the inning. Manny Machado leading the inning off with a homer, and then with one away, Cruz gets his 16th, and that has given the Orioles the lead in the ball game.
Yeah, David, just you've been trying to get him to hit the ball on the ground, just to hook one in the hole here and get it in by Swisher, who is holding Hardy on.
Chisenhall even with the bag at third, so a little more room for him in that infield.
When you got that little, it kind of changes as the count gets to whatever it's going to get to.
Low with the 0-1, and inside out, that one the other way. 2-strike count. Orioles have left 5 on base so far in the ball game. As we've said, that's been a problem for them in this series. It's 33 have been left on now in this 4-game series. Orioles 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position today. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's outside. Again, trying to get him to chase after it. 1-2. Day game for the Orioles tomorrow. It'll be from Milwaukee for the Memorial Day ball game. Those extra will be on at 1:30. Ball game at 2. Young Masson 2. Chris Tillman and Kyle Loesch. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to miss.
Yeah, Loesch had 6-1 on the year, and Tillman coming off, at least in recent years, arguably his worst appearance ever. Couldn't get out of the second inning. Struggled. Said he felt good. That's part of the deal. He has been having a groin problem, push off leg. And Kyle Loesch will come out and throw nothing but strikes. That's what he does.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. Looked like a palm ball on that one. So Lowe gets a couple of strikeouts, but the Orioles get a couple of home runs. Manny Machado gets his 2nd of the year. Nelson Cruz would follow that up with one away, picking up his 16th of the year, both off the starter Trevor Bauer, and the Orioles have the lead. guard drill team performing. Thumbs up on that one. Thumbs up for the veterans who are here and current members of the service. And for the Orioles, thumbs up on a comeback so far to take the lead in this game. Orioles picking up a couple to tie it, then using the long ball in that last half inning. Machado and Cruz salute that. And the Orioles have a 4-2 lead. Gonzalez, the Orioles starter, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He will work to Chisenhall, who will lead it off. Lonnie Chisenhall as a sacrifice RBI. And he is grounded out. Swisher and then Giambi to follow.
So the pitch count pretty much in hand at 79.
Got that down with a couple of quick innings. He only threw 4 pitches in the 3rd inning.
Well, that was, he hit the first batter, Santana, and then Pierce doing what he does. Great double play. They threw out Murphy last inning. That saved him a couple of pitches.
And my bet is if you ask Buck Showalter right now, the important point of the first 5 innings, he'd go with that double play. And say that's the one that got him out.
Well, at that time it was 2-1. They were trying to add runs. That's what they've been doing all May, leading the major leagues in runs scored, over 5 a game. And
Chisenhall will lash that one to the gap. Jones over. It's coming back towards him, and he'll make the catch. Hard out here in the 6th inning. Voting for the All-Star game underway at Orioles.com/vote-orange. Vote for your favorite Oriole up to 35 times. If you vote at least 25, select those as your favorite team. You get a voucher for 10 off any box seat, 5 off for reserved. Angels games at the end of July. One lucky fan 35 times voting is going to get the 14 All-Star jersey autographed by the Oriole All-Stars. Orioles.com/vote-orange. Swisher has struck out, sac fly for an RBI. Shift will be put on against him. And Gonzalez's pitch will be up high for a ball.
Yeah, pitching so much feel and touch that when you start getting the ball up, you have to, if you're going to pitch at this level, pitch into the late innings, figure out why. So a couple of pitches, fastball, not a lot of late life. Chisenhall smoked it, but Jonesy made a nice play. Now both of these pitches up. I'm a little bit tired. Do I need to slow my body down, speed up my arm? What do I need to do to throw quality strikes? So everything up in this inning. And don't think that Dave Wallace and Buck Showalter, Oriole pitching coach manager, don't know that. But if you want to make it easier for your bullpen over that, these are the little things, Gary, where if we're going to talk about more innings, you have to make the adjustment.
That's what the starters are after, and that ball will be fouled back. No play.
I mean, why can't I finish my pitches? Why can't I bring the ball down in the zone? And just because a pitching coach knows what you're doing, you got to know that internally, and that makes the difference. And that's when, as a staff, you start taking the next step forward. Make it easier as you get into August, September for your bullpen.
And by the letters inside. So a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swisher with 1 down, nobody on, and Giambi waiting on deck.
In the bullpen, they know. I mean, they've got pitch count. They're all doing calisthenics. They're all getting loose out there.
And a ground ball fouled off.
It's like warm up and stretching before the game starts.
And the 3-2 again to Swisher, and again he will foul the ball back and hold the count at 3-2. He's working Gonzalez here, as he does against a lot of pitchers in his at bats. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat coming up here by Gonzalez to Swisher. And outside, so he draws a walk. 4th surrendered by Gonzalez with 1 away here in the 6th inning. So that brings a potential tying run to the plate in the person of Giambi.
Yeah, Miguel, but Gonzalez has been able to get him out up and in twice. But that's many pitches ago. Pitch count now at 90. 3-run home run on Thursday, down and away. Hit it down the left field line.
One away, shift on against him. Scope has to stay in with that runner on at first. And the pitch is in. And up.
Pretty much everything in this inning has been up.
And Gilmet getting up in the bullpen, picking up the baseball. Preston will start warming up here. 1-0 delivery. That's outside.
Got to come out a little talk. Yeah, here comes Dave Wallace.
Give the bullpen a chance to get heated up as Gonzalez seemingly running out of fuel here in the 6th inning. Gilmet's going to hustle it along. .2-0 on Giambi. Dangerous with his power. Toronto's winning again over Oakland 3-0 today. Tampa Bay beating Boston 3-1. They're in the 6th inning of their ball game. Texas got mad that everybody said they were out of it. I think they got a 9-2 lead today over Detroit in the 7th inning. They walloped the Tigers in the ball game yesterday.
Yeah, I was reading. Was it Rougned Odor?
Yes,
youngest player since 1914. 4 hits, 2 triples, 5 RBIs.
We got it.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
And they got 12 runs. You're right.
Yep. But they are out of it, just so they know.
We'll remind Ron Washington.
You talk about a team that's gone through injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, whoa, man, oh man. Seems like every day somebody's off their team.
2 starters, Holland and Harrison.
Yeah.
Prince Fielder, their second baseman, Profar.
Will get the strike there. Count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave Wallace came out and said, okay, hey, everything's up. How do we throw the ball down? We work on it. Dave stands behind him when he does his side. Well, make a quality pitch here. Maybe get a double play ball.
2-1 delivery on the way. Giambi fights it off twice. So Gonzalez comes back.
Yeah, that's the home run thing. He's looking for something up. Little splitter, trying to pull it.
On at first base, Swisher. 1 out here, 2-2. And Giambi will put it up in the air to right field. Nick Markakis with the runner halfway. He's got it. There are 2 down. Well, our Major League Notebook on the You Can Look It Up page. You can look this up. The New York Yankees won twice this week when trailing and scoreless entering the 9th inning. Just don't get that done, and even in their history. And there is Odor from Texas. 4 hits last night, including a double, 2 triples, and 5 RBIs in the ball game. He's the first player under 21 to have the 4 hits, 2 triples in 1 game since Rogers Hornsby in 1916. And the Red Sox, the 5th Major League Baseball team to extend a losing streak to 9 or more after leading by 5 runs at the end of the 1st inning. I mean, even when they're doing things right, it goes wrong for the Red Sox right now.
And they did it off David Price, who did kind of what Miguel Gonzalez. He didn't give up 5, he gave up 2. That's it.
1-0 count here in Aviles. Not a big lead at first for Swisher, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. Little discussion going on at the plate.
Well, he's third, and he couldn't have thought that was a ball. I mean, that was a very hittable fastball inside middle. That's where he likes it. Maybe a little bit higher than that, but boy, has he been swinging freely in this series.
He's had 1 hit off Gonzalez, a home run. 1 for 11. And that pitch will miss down low. So a 2-ball, 1 strikeout. Gonzalez trying to work his way through the 6th inning. Aviles representing the potential tying run in this ball game with Murphy on deck. Pierce holding the runner at first. 2-1. He's really struggling to get through this inning. 3-1. He's thrown 100 pitches in the last game, 102 in another. This will be his third game with 100 pitches. It'll go to short. Hardy charging short hops. Makes the play, and that will do it. Aviles is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. The Orioles on top of the ball game by 2 are on the do-ups. Caleb Joseph, Nick Markakis, and Manny Machado. As the Orioles begin a 10-game road trip, they'll kick it off in Milwaukee. Chris Tillman on the mound against Kyle Loesch in Game 1. Coverage on MASN 2 at 1:30 with those extra, presented by Dodge. Game coverage will be at 2. All the access you need right here on MASN.
So there are the Brewers. Got off to a great start. Ron Renege, a former player, former coach for Mike Scioscia. You can see they pitched very well. Braun back playing. You know, he can flat out hit.
Ball put up in the air behind first base. Second baseman the angle. Aviles comes over and he will put that away, and Joseph is retired. One down, bottom of the 6th.
Great venue, the new ballpark in Milwaukee.
Braun has gone 4 for 4 today, one shy of the cycle, needing a home run. Well, he has been back and forth with the oblique problems. Obviously not bothering him today.
Yeah, I read a survey about 3-4 years ago that the Brewers, through radio, television, people coming to the ballpark, reached 44% of the potential people they could reach. Highest, not the most, but the highest percentage of any city in baseball. So, and it rocks in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm. Most importantly, the brats are very, very good.
Smothered with ice cream.
Yeah, smothered with ice cream. Spicy mustard. Here's Nick Markakis, 0 for 3 in the ball game. He's got a 6 for 19 now in the series, and he will take the pitch from Loesch, who is working out of the bullpen. Nick has not had a hit in the last 7 times up in this series, hitting at .295. Loesch on for Bauer. Gave up a couple of hits, but got a couple of strikeouts to end the 5th inning. 2-0 delivery. Markakis will take it for a strike. Bill Met's been up a couple of times for the Orioles. Scott Atchison for Cleveland. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and Markakis will take it on the inside corner.
Well, he's getting pitched to. Up and down, hooks and whatever. 4 hits off of TJ House, or actually 3 of them off him, and then 1 off the bullpen. That was on Friday night. Oh, that got their attention.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery by Lotion. Boy, did that tie him up. Nick had spasms on that one, and he's retired.
Well, good stuff. I mean, this is a high breaking ball. A lot of times it'd be called high. Santana sitting away. But it really doesn't spin much. It just kind of, it's almost like a backup slider, and Santana has to reach across. But when he does, it's right in front of the home plate umpire's eyes, and he gets the call.
So that'll bring up Manny Machado, his second home run of the season in his last at bat, leading off the 5th inning off Bauer. And he will take the pitch for a strike. And great to see Manny back in the lineup, and the Orioles mighty happy as he delivered the long ball here today, along with a walk and a strikeout. 0-1 delivery, and that's
just a miss. If you're a teammate of Manny's, you want him to play because you know he's one of the best players on your team, and again, plus defensive player, 51 doubles. He can hit home runs. He's still learning to play at this level. Every day is a learning opportunity. So you want him playing, and when he's healthy, that's what he does.
Second career home run he has had against the Indians. 222 career average against them. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Machado. Jones waiting on deck. Orioles trying to win their second Sunday game of the year. 2-1 delivery, and that one's up high.
Well, 17 outs, 11 of them on strikes, strikeouts. So a lot of punch outs today.
Low ready with a 3-1. And Machado will take it. It'll get away. So Lowe surrenders the walk, and the Orioles will get Jones to the plate here in the 6th inning. And as promised earlier in the game, our AT&T's fan photo. That's a couple having a good time right there. Want that hat. Francona's on his way up to the mound, so we're going to get a pitching change here. Lowe will be out of there, and the Orioles here in the 6th inning will try and add to their 2-run lead. Jones coming up with Manny Machado on at first base, and the O's up 4-2. Try and find the final out in the inning.
Yeah, got the save the other night, his second of his career. I mean, look at those numbers. Last year with the Mets, after we saw him years past with the Red Sox, really pitched well for them. Had shoulder problems last year, but this year lefties only at 212, righties and right-handers. Nick Markakis probably summed it up. He's got about 3 or 4 different pitches and knows what he's doing. And at 38, he was throwing 93 the other night. So made a lot of great pitches. Did get the save. Did give up the home run to Nick Markakis on a high curveball. We'll see if the Orioles can add some more runs here.
2 down. Adam Jones coming up with the runner on at first base. The home runs by Machado and Cruz in the 5th inning, putting the Orioles up by 2 in the ball game.
A little 1 for 7 here, lifetime. Hutchison against Adam Jones.
Right-hander's delivery to him. That'll go to the hole. That's a base hit. So Jones jumps on the first pitch and delivers a single. That'll move Machado down to second base, 2 on and 2 out.
Yeah, Jonesy a pretty smart hitter now, and I mean, it's just a little slider, so he's ready. He's happy that Trevor Bauer threw the ball right by him, and he's gone. Well, that speeds up the bat. Slider, middle 80s.
Well, the Orioles would like to tag on here in the 6th inning. That is going to be hit number 9 for the Orioles. Bring Cruz up 0 for 3 off Atchison. But in this ball game, a double, a homer, and a strikeout. 6-game hit streak for him now. 2 home runs in this series. And he will take the pitch for a strike. 2 on, 2 out. 2 out rally. Walk came to Machado with 2 down. 0-1 pitch the other way, foul.
Yeah, there have been enough lookbacks by hitters to Alan Porter today that you might have to go see a chiropractor tomorrow. Everybody's head on a swivel. And I'm not that it's bad. It's just a big strike zone. Very consistently big. Not the hitters like that.
No. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. And outside, Atchison not close on those 2, and he'll work it to 2-2.
Yeah, when you face guys like Cruz and they're as hot as he is, you get a tendency you got to make perfect pitches. So sometimes you steer balls off the corner instead of throwing them there. And his play coverage, that's a pretty good cutter, slider, maybe up a little bit. Santana's going to come out to talk to him. But when you're hitting well, you're seeing the ball well, you don't swing through those pitches unless they're a little bit better. And that's almost a home run cutter or slider because of his ability to hit the ball to right field.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 on. Cruz with a home run, his 9th career home run in this ballpark. And the pitch stays right there at the plate. Santana had the ball at his feet, so Manny Machado will go back to second base. And the count is full, and the runners will be going. Great 2 delivery on the way, and that's fought off. Had to reach and go down to protect on that one, hold it at 3-2.
That pitch gets most people out, and it's just a foul ball again because he sees and is tracking the ball as well as he is.
Three-2 delivery for the second time. Runners go, fouled away. We talked about Cruz's average here in this ballpark when he was picked up by the Orioles this spring. He's hitting over .290 now lifetime here at Camden Yards with the 9 home runs. This is the 43rd game that he has played in his new home park.
Oh, when you go to Texas, Beltry, he always scares you because he always seems like he's red hot as he is now. But Nelson Cruz in that ballpark, ability to hit it hard all over the place.
Chopper with the runners going will be played at second by Aviles, and he will record the out. So the Orioles no runs. They get 1 hit. They will leave 2 on base. 6 complete here at Camden Yards.
Nothing, but here come the Orioles. Little looper by Scope makes it 2-1. And Steve Pearce a rocket into left. Tie it up. Really close play. Santana couldn't hold it on. 2-2. Here come the big boys. Manny Machado back in the lineup. Homers to right. Orioles take a 3-2 lead, and then the curveball. You can see Trevor Bauer hanging the head as that sails into the Oriole bullpen. 4-2 Orioles. That is your Geico highlights. Trevor Bauer and Miguel Gonzalez. Gonzalez out. Geico highlights 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. So Gonzalez a chance to win. Your Jiffy Lube pitching change. Change is good, especially when your oil's getting changed at Jiffy Lube. Give your vehicle relief with regular oil changes at Jiffy Lube and help stretch the life of your engine. So here comes Preston Gilmet. He's on the rubber band back to Norfolk, and here pitched really well. Look at those numbers. Glowing. Retired 6 in a row in the extra inning game earlier in this series, so he's back. Throws nothing but strikes.
And the former Cleveland Indian will go to work here in the 7th inning. David Murphy leading it off. Murphy a base hit, got out of an 0 for 15 in the 5th inning with the single. Only a 2-run differential in power in this Indian lineup, so a ball game yet to be decided. Gilmet, as we said, never left Baltimore, even though he was sent down. It was only for a day and then back up again with Chris Davis going on the leave, paternity leave today, and the pitch is going to be taken, and it's 3-0. Gilmet falls behind on Murphy. Sellers, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck, taken for a strike.
Yeah, he needs to make him put the ball in play, and that's pitching to the scoreboard. Didn't want to go 3-0. Now he's got to work his way back into the count.
3-1 delivery. That'll be down to first base. Came back to get him. Pierce will take it to the bag himself. Murphy out, 1 down, 7th inning. The Orioles thank the 2014 American Heart Association Baltimore Heartball signature sponsors SunTrust and Johns Hopkins Medicine, whose support for the event helped raise $700,000 to fight heart disease. For more information on how you can help fight heart disease or contribute, go to Orioles.com/AHA. Sellers has struck out and drawn a walk. Couple of hits and 9 at bats in the series. The shortstop will take it down low for a ball.
Well, Gary, you were talking the other night when Preston came in that we have to look in their guide. The amazing thing to me, almost 300 innings, only 64 walks. And as I say that, he's getting a little bit wild today, but the ability to come back from 3-0 for some pitchers, they go, oh no, I'm aiming, I got to get it over, blah, 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 and it lets it affect him. So he comes back, and at least he makes Murphy put the ball in play.
2-0 delivery coming back again here.
And he keeps looking down at his feet. A lot of pitchers out there, and there are different holes, and it's all about being able to push off and land. And if you can't push off the way you want, or you can't land the way you want. So now 2 consecutive 3-0 counts.
You come back in with a strike. He's been a closer at the minors, a 20-15 record, 94 saves, and a 2.71 ERA in 6 seasons at the minor league level. 3-1 delivery, and he walked it. And again stumbling there as he followed through. So 5 walks have been picked up by the Indians, and again that will bring the potential tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. Bourne, a couple of singles, a run scored, is grounded out. The Indians got both runs in the 1st inning. Their first 2 hitters getting on, and then Chisenhall and Swisher later in the innings had sac flies. Orioles had to come back. Scope and Pierce with base hits, and then went ahead on the Cruz and Machado home runs. Strike taken. Mattis
already pitched a couple of times in back-to-back games in this series.
Pierce holding the bag at first on Sellers, and Gilmet comes back 0-2.
Yeah, there's a splitter. So finally, and that's a pitch we've seen. He's got a little slider, 89 to 91 when he gets ahead, less than that when he has to throw it over. And then the change up, split fingered fastball, ground ball, strikeout pitch.
Oh-2 delivery, runner staying put. That's going to miss inside.
Again, sitting away and just a little, maybe a rectangle has it as a strike, but
either way,
you make that reach across the plate. Sometimes you don't get it.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way and gets the swinging strike on that one, and 2 down.
Well, Buck Showalter, the Orioles skipper, saying, well, what do we know about this guy or don't know about him that Cleveland did? Well, I don't. If you can throw that pitch with 2 strikes and you can get the 2 strikes, which he's been able to do, you can pitch in any level. That ball goes straight down. Very deceptive. Look at this deception. Arm up, throwing over your front side. Does open up a lot. So when he's able to get over his front side and again walk almost every 5 innings in the minor leagues. Great control.
Santana will nub that one foul off the plate. Santana scored a run. He's been on all 3 times without a hit. He's had 2 walks and been hit by a pitch. So he remains 4 for 11, but a home run, 4 RBIs in this series. One of his better series on the year.
Yeah, he's got some power, as we mentioned.
Hitting 156.
There's
inside
strike.
corner strike. Sellers the lead at first. Here's the 0-2 and a swing and a miss. He got him. Gilmet comes on a walk with a couple of strikeouts. 7th inning stretch time here at Camden Yards. By authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. And on this Sunday, the day before Memorial Day, a great event being held here as Darren O'Day and his wife Elizabeth sponsoring the barbecue for the troops in the picnic area. And some 250 people on hand, along with a number of veterans. There is Darren greeting some of the fans who were in, and there is his wife Elizabeth. And they had a great crowd and a great time out there. Why do it here? What's it all about? Well, Darren O'Day talked about that with us this afternoon.
Well, I think it's a perfect marriage here, especially that we were able to have it here on Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people see it as just a day off of work, and the true meaning behind it is to give thanks for giving that sacrifice. Baseball is you can't get more American than that. And to come out here and have a little barbecue and get some families together and just say thanks to the people that have sacrificed so much.
If we didn't thank the men and women that make the sacrifices every day, I can't imagine how we could live with ourselves. I mean, we think about our lifestyles and how our husbands travel and they're gone for 11 days at a time, but the men and the women who serve are gone from their family members for years at a time. And the USO does a great job of making their lives just a little bit easier, whether it be when they come home and they have a lounge where they can just read a magazine or have a soda. And then maybe they can't have the best Christmas, and the USO can help out their Christmas, or they can put a turkey on their table for Thanksgiving. So it's the little things that for us it's easy, and it's not easy for them.
Well said. Can't say it any better than that.
Great day, and great to have the troops on hand here, the active and those retired and those who have served, and a really great event out there today. And they had a full house for that barbecue for the troops, and Memorial Day, of course, is tomorrow. So the Orioles bat here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They've got the 4-2 lead. Big part of it, Steve Pearce today. 3-for-3 ball game, RBI, runs scored, double, 2 singles, and a fine job at first base again today. And the pitch to him will be outside for a ball. Toronto's won their 6th straight game. They've won again. They beat Oakland 3-1. Oakland's lost 4 in a row now. Bautista had a 1-for-3, couple of RBIs in the ball game. In the air to center, Bourne, and he's got it. One away in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Happ got the win. It is 4-1 on the year for Toronto.
And he's really pitched well. And if you go back to last year, he was hit by the liner back up the middle, or one of the pitchers, but I always liked him when he was pitching with Philadelphia. So they're getting their ducks in a row as far as their starting pitching, and everybody knows you go up there with that offense. Not always easy to win, and Oakland finding that out.
29 wins now for Toronto. Pitch will be taken away by Hardy. He has struck out twice, picked up a base hit. Toronto's 13-11 at home, and maybe a bit of a surprising 16-11 on the road. That'll go to third base. Short hop. Chisenhall knocks it down. Spins. No play.
Hot corner, and that's exactly what Lonnie got. A little cutter that's hit really hard and firm. So what kind of hop do you get? You can't always pick it. And that ball comes up, and the minute it does, it's coming off the heel of the glove. And
it's like they're going to charge an error.
Yeah, you would think it would be, only because it was hit directly at him.
Well, the 52nd error of the year committed by the Indians and Jonathan Scope, and the Orioles will try and take advantage of it. Hardy on at first, 1 out. Scope an RBI single, 1-for-3 in the ball game, takes the pitch. Atchison on the mound in relief. Lowe worked an inning in the 3rd, couple of hits, a walk and 3 strikeouts. Atchison on now after getting the final out in the 6th inning. He's given up 1 hit, chance for 2. Sellers, Aviles, Swisher. And that will do it here in the 7th inning. 7 complete now as the Orioles can't take advantage of the error, but still have the 4-2 lead. The year has been pitched by Josh Beckett of the Dodgers, as the Dodgers beat the Phillies by a score of 6-0. 128 pitch performance, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. It's his first no-hitter as well, in the 11th in Dodger history. And
in Philadelphia.
They're bad.
Well,
nothing away from Beckett, but they're bad.
No, but I mean, that's a tough place to pitch. I'm so sure he's happy after having to have surgery. Brian Mattis comes on to try to hold the 4-2 lead, third time as we mentioned. So righties hitting a little higher than they want. That was one of the things. Try to get that average down. So he started in spring training. Lefties pretty much where they belong as far as Brian, because he's dominated left-handers, and this will not be one of those cases, but inherited runners. One of the better pitchers in baseball when it comes to doing that.
Fans applauding the no-hitter as it's put up on the board. Here is Brantley. Brantley had a base hit back in the first inning, an 11-game hit streak. He's hit into a double play and grounded out. We go to the 8th inning. The Orioles trying to find the final 6 outs they need to put away the victory and square up this 4-game set at 2 apiece before they head to Milwaukee. And Brian Mattis will be in there for a strike to Brantley. Gonzalez, pitcher of record for the Orioles, 2 runs, 4 hits over 6. Gilmet worked an inning. He had a walk and a couple of strikeouts. Now Brian Mattis on. And that will just miss away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orioles have had the offense today. 4 runs on 9 hits, leaving 9 on base. Some chances, 2, 4, and 1 for the Indians.
Yeah, Brantley came in hitting higher average against lefties than righties.
And that's going to miss outside. Brantley 1 for 3 off Brian Mattis. Darren O'Day is up in the bullpen. Would he come in for a multi-inning save?
Well, you still have Britton behind him. And
yep. 2-1 delivery on the way and a ground ball off the end of the bat. Manny Machado's got it.
Boy, really good pitch. Great 2-1 pitch there to get him out.
Follow every Orioles game all season long with MLB.com at Bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are. Stats, highlights, audio, instant replays, and much more. Download the award-winning MLB.com at Bat on the App Store or at Orioles.com. 1 away and Chisenhall coming up. Chisenhall's got an 0 for 2 and a sac fly today. Lonnie Chisenhall with the infield pretty much straight up against him. And the pitch up high for a ball.
And the ability to hit it all over, they just can't shift on him. You've seen him left. Home breaking ball, speeds up the bat, hit the home run off a day, tied the game up. Had to go into extra innings. The Orioles lost.
Chisenhall's not counted among the leaders because he doesn't have enough at bats. He's about 50 shy of the at bats he would need to qualify at this point. If he were qualified, he'd be up among the leaders in about every offensive category. 374 batting average. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be away and low. Chisenhall has faced Mattis only 1 time. 2 ball, 1 strike count. He's hit the lefties though this year. Not a lot of at bats, but 5 for 9 coming in against left-handers. 0 for 1 off Brian. Here's the 2-1. The other way and another base hit. Mercy.
Well, that's such a great approach. He talked about it. Doesn't try to overswing.
Dangerous here because it's only a 2-run ball game, remember, and Swisher and Giambi due up. Swisher will turn around and bat right-handed with 1 down and a runner on. He is 193, no home runs right-handed, 223 home runs the other way. 1 out. That is hit number 5 for the Indians. Mattis delivers to him, and that will miss for a ball.
Yeah, that's when the numbers come in. the lefty gets the tying run to the plate, even though Brian at 213 and now the righties at 313, 100 points higher, have a chance to tie it up. And this is one of the missions in spring training, is to be able to get low and away with your changeup, even though they're coming in here. And you can see pretty good swing.
1 for 19 Swisher against Mattis, and the one hits a home run.
Well, now we know why O'Day's not in the game.
1 ball, 1 strikeout. Giambi on deck. Infield would like to get the double play and wrap the inning up right here. 1-1 delivery to him. Makes the hand off the bat, takes the pitch inside. 2-1.
Yeah, you could make all the pitches in the world, but and you've talked about it all day, and we've seen it the first game and then here, is that you can get him to chase with 2 strikes, but until then he is a very disciplined hitter. Now he gets to pretty much look on his terms.
Runner off first. Here's the 2-1 to him, and that's there. He wanted it otherwise, but the count will go to 2-2. And Swisher will back away.
Yeah, he wants the one right down the thigh high, so he can just hit it. Well, that's not the strike zone today. You can shake your head, you can do all that. You better expand the zone, because the home plate umpire has done it for you.
2-2. Mattis's delivery to him down to third, and that's going to be a foul ball. Swisher, 2 ball, 2 strike count, 1 out. Chisenhall going back to first base.
He have really good speed at first too. He doesn't steal much, but he can. You hit a double, long, single, he'll score. He can really run.
Mattis will try the 2-2 again, and popped him up. Figure out where it is. Second base, and it'll be hauled in. That was up there. Jonathan Scope puts it away. Swisher's out. Gets the big out, holds the runner at first. Everybody was kind of looking up over there. Chisenhall, Pierce, and Jonathan Scope all trying to find the ball. Chisenhall wasn't sure where he was supposed to go. He didn't know where the ball was. The base runner.
They're going to pinch hit with Asdrubal Cabrera, because he's a switch hitter. So if you're Buck Showalter, if you let him face Mattis, he's going to hit right-handed. If you bring in O'Day, and you get to turn him around.
270 right, 252 left. Not a big difference.
How about the home runs?
Not a big difference there either.
1 and 2.
Yep. So Cabrera out with the ball hit off his foot and with a knee that's been acting up. Not getting the start at shortstop, but will get a pinch hitting chance here. Runner on at first base, and 2 down. Pierce holds the runner. Cabrera takes the off-speed delivery, and it will miss for a ball. Key moment here, trying to get this out in the top half of the 8th inning. Keep that runner right there. Cabrera 2 for 11 off Brian Mattis. Shift on in the infield, fouls it off. $37,649 the attendance. Great crowds on hand for this series. 37,649. Seen an interesting 4-game set against Cleveland, and we certainly aren't done with this one yet. 1-1. Cabrera watches, and it's outside.
Yeah, good fastball, but just off the corner. And I almost thought when I saw Caleb Joseph, he has yet to throw a changeup, and that was always one of his strong suits when Brian was a starting pitcher before he went to the bullpen, especially against right-handers.
2-1 count.
There it is.
And he got it in there.
And Cabrera didn't like it, but apparently he hasn't been paying attention It's a pitcher's strike zone today. And this is a good changeup. Now whether it's a strike, nope, grounder.
Chisenhall off first base, 2-2. And he'll foul that one back. He got one to get a good cut on. Count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of pitches thrown in this ball game. You got Trevor Bauer had 8 strikeouts in the game. Lowe picked up 3 on their side. Gonzalez had 4. Gilmette's got a couple. So just in strikeouts alone, there have been 5 walks issued by the Oriole pitchers, 4 by the Cleveland pitchers. So a lot of stuff coming to the plate. Here's another 2-2, and he got him as he chases one away. Cabrera retired, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base, bottom of the 8th. The Orioles lead it 4-2. .37 his career ended. He was hit by Yankee pitcher Bump Hadley. Serious. In fact, they thought they might lose him. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks after that. Came back to be a skipper but never played again. 1981, joining Cobb Musial and Aaron Carl Yastrzemski, the 4th major leaguer to appear in 3,000 games. Made it memorable. Scored the winning run in an 8-7 victory. In the Hall of Fame. Elected in 1989. 14-time All-Star. 7 Gold Gloves. And the 1967 American League MVP. Yaz Yastrzemski. Mike Messina on hand for the ball game today and recognized by the fans.
The Moose. He's even got his little emblem on his hat. Boy, could he pitch. 270 wins. It's a matter of time. It's going to take a while probably, but I think he's going to be in Cooperstown at some point. Certainly deserves it. Gold Glover. Dominated his era, maybe not as much as some of the guys getting in this year, but pitched during the steroid era and did it about as good as you can.
The Orioles will try and add to their 2-run lead as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Outman out of the bullpen now.
Yeah, we saw him in the extra inning game really pitch well, and he comes in, dominates, having a nice year for him. And then, as we mentioned, this bullpen, the 3rd best earned run average, and he's a big part of it. 3-0 with Colorado last year.
That ball in the air. David Lowe got a lot of it going back near the warning track, and it'll be hauled in. Talk about positioning. Murphy was right where he needed to be.
Yeah, he plays him a little deeper than you would imagine. And then he was able to run it down easily.
So 1 down on the long fly ball out with Murphy only going back about 3 steps. That ball was hit hard. Caleb Joseph coming up has taken an 0 for 2. And has drawn a walk today.
But he's done a terrific job, and that's the one thing. He has not hit the way he wanted to. But he has done a great job behind the plate. For a young catcher coming to this level, he was disappointed when Gonzalez gave up the 2 in the 1st. But they've shut him down to this point.
1-0 delivery on the way, and that is a called strike up around the letters. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. The Yankees continue red hot. Somehow they find a way to win. 6-1 over the White Sox, 7th inning. Jeter's had a 4-for-4, 2 RBI day for the Yankees. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Red Sox losing again, at least for the moment.
They're brawling right now.
Are they?
They got a bench clearing brawl going on with Tampa. 2-1, 1 out. Lefty's pitch to him down to third. It's a fair ball. Chisenhall on the backhand guns it over. Nice play by Swisher in the corner of the bag.
Yeah, a little footwork by Dick over there.
2 down. Blake Markakis 0-for-4 in the ball game. Nick now at 294 on the year. Orioles 4-9-0, 2-5-1 for the Indians. 2 starters remain the pitchers of record. Zach Britton ready to come on in a save situation. Markakis reaching and will foul it back. Nick against the lefties. A real solid 296 coming in and a 301 against right-handers. So that's the exact same numbers. Lefty righty. Here's the 0-1 to him. Fastball inside. Long road trip coming up, and again out of the division, part of this long span of 37 out of 40 games outside the East. Milwaukee for 3, Houston for 4, and 3 in Arlington against the Rangers. Another one a little more inside.
Yeah, the good news is the Orioles are playing so well on the road. 14-11, scoring over 5 runs a game. Pitch better here, score less here. If they win today, they'll be 11-12 here.
Road batting average is the best in the majors. Foul back. Their home average is 21st. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And there is no way to really fathom it.
Markakis standing back in. 2-2 down. To short. Sellers. And that will do it. So Upman comes on with a 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles will go to the 9th inning. The closer, Zach Britton, coming on. They're up by 2, need 3 for a W. By Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. 11-8 kind today as the summer season begins on this Memorial Day weekend. And the Orioles trying to kick it off with a victory over the Indians. And here's Britton.
And there are deep inside the numbers. A fastball 90% of the time because he's got one of the best sinkers in baseball. No changeups as of yet because he's not closing. And there are the numbers. A low ERA. That's the lowest in the American League. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. Doesn't give up a lot of hits. And 1-for-1 in saves opportunity. Trying to double that up today. Make it 2-for-2.
Had a 1-2-3 inning against Kansas City in that first save chance that he converted. Now gets another here.
Yeah, he also pitched in this series. A couple of scoreless innings.
Mike Avila's leading it off, bottom third of the order for the Indians. And Britton's pitch will be away. Avila's 0-for-3. Fly ball, ground ball, and a strikeout.
So they're just trying to get on. Ryan Rayburn hit a home run yesterday. Powerful right-handed hitter. He's come out on deck.
Avila's 245 off lefties. 2-0 delivery to him, and it's 3-0. Britton on for Brian Mattis, worked an inning, a single. Gilliette, Rustin Gumet came on and worked an inning, had a couple of strikeouts. Gonzalez, chance to win his third game. 2 runs, 4 hits over 6 for the Orioles starter. That is in there for a strike.
Yeah, he'll take a strike anywhere and just hope the stuff plays. And there is Miguel Gonzalez looking on. Would love to get his record to 3-3.
Trevor Bauer, the starter for the Indians, 1-1, their pitcher of record. Here's the 3-1. Had to go after it. Jonathan Scopes got it. Good comeback by Britton.
Yeah, that's part of the process when you don't want to get behind guys, but when you do, can you just get back to the basic mechanics of being able to throw the ball in the strike zone? And when you have this kind of sinker, you get a lot of ground balls. That's when you know he's on his game.
So Rayburn will come on as the pinch hitter for Murphy, who had a single in 3 times to the plate. Rayburn a lot of at bats here, including a home run, 3 RBIs, and a couple of runs scored. 1 down and nobody on. Rayburn as a pinch hitter, 0-for-7. And Britton's pitch to him is there for a strike. Orioles can move a couple of games above that 500 mark with a victory here today. Down to 3rd and foul. Orioles will see Cleveland again in August. 15, 16, and 17. A 3-game set to be played in Cleveland.
So Rayburn trying to get something up. Sellers on deck. You still have Gomes to hit. Of course, he could come in and he could catch. Santana could go play another position.
Fastball that moved the arms up and missed 1 and 2.
I'm not sure any hitter feels comfortable taking a 2-strike pitch today, but that ball's a little in.
Britton on that third base side. 1-2 delivery on the way. Rayburn a chopper. Come down, come down. Britton's got it. Throw to first. Got him. He gunned it. A fastball to first base.
Yeah, and he might have hurt himself. You know, you think you're going to defer. I used to defer to Brooks Robinson with his 16 gold gloves, but I think he hurt himself here.
Yep.
I mean, watch this. Manny's coming in, and I think they almost collide. But then that's a jerky throw, and that's when he might have done something. Hopefully it's not the shoulder. Very, very unusual quick throw.
Richard Mansell's out, and Buck Showalter's right behind.
So the momentum, I mean, it might have barehanded if we were talking about Manny Machado, but terrific play. And a nice stretch by Pierce. Meanwhile, Rayburn's going, I got a chance to get on here. Surprised he didn't ask for some warm-ups.
Yeah. So 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. Two down, fans up. Justin Sellers in. Sellers has walked a couple of times and been called out on strikes as the Indians down to their final out to work with in this ball game. Pitch looked good right there.
Yeah, Manny Machado playing back. Sellers didn't even look at down at third whether he's going to try to bunt his way on to get on base. But also sneaking in a little bit, maybe getting a couple of steps deeper.
Britton with the 0-1 delivery.
97 with about as good a sink as you can throw. I know there are scouts down there going, how does he do it? How do you throw a ball that hard that has that much downward movement?
Oh, 2. Ball game's not over. Foul ball.
Got me going.
That was one leg out the door. Britton trying to retire all 6 batters faced in these 2 save opportunities. And the 0-2 delivery again. Oh, fooled him, but doesn't get the call on it. 1-2.
Well, that's part of the starter's repertoire that he has. 3 years ago, led the Orioles with 11 wins before shoulder problems. As we mentioned, doesn't use his changeup anymore, but will throw an occasional breaking ball.
2 down, nobody on. 1-2. 2-2.
About as far as you want to go. 2-2 count.
Sellers, the number 9 hitter for the Indians. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Sellers not going to go easily here. 2-2. Bourne waiting on deck. Orioles got their lead in the 5th inning. The homers by Manny Machado and Cruz after they fell behind in the first 2-0. Up 4-2, hasn't changed since then, and Britton a chance to put it away. 2-2 delivery. Just 1 under half the pitches thrown by Britton here in the 9th have been thrown to Sellers. Zach with a 2-2 delivery again. 3-2.
And that's pretty much what he obviously wants to get on. I mean, that's the first mission, but also run the count, and you just never know. Should get a better pitch to hit here because anybody, especially Zach Britton, knows he does not want to walk him.
9th inning, 3-2 down. Britton's delivery to him, and got him. Called third strike, and the ball game is over. 1-2-3 inning for the Oriole closer. And the Orioles do split this 4-game set as they win this one by a score of 4-2, out hitting the Indians 9-5. Gonzalez wins it 3-3. Trevor Bauer, the loser, 1-2, 2 for 2 in saves for Britton.